What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 54 of the Pylon Show. We've got a great panel of people today. It's myself in control and Artosis as per usual. Dan, how the heck are you? You ready for the GSL finals?
Yeah, thank God we did not get a PvP. So I'm very excited about it. And a new champion, so that's kind of cool.
Does it break your theory, or was it Kevin's theory, the piggyback theory, whoever it was? If Dark wins, did he only get there off of other guys that couldn't win?
Yeah, so far, this has been the case that we have like this circle of guys that only get second place or beat each other, which includes like Stats and Dark. I had the whole list before. Sue, or well, it was Sue before, but he now obviously...
He ascended.
Well, actually, he beat Stats to win Katowice, so actually that stays true. So Sue, Dark, and Stats actually only have championships off of each other. I think there's one more player in there.
Conspiracy.
But anyways, yeah, no, if he wins, there you go. That's legit championship.
Okay. Well, it'll be fun. That's this Friday night. We'll talk all about it, obviously, as we go forward. We have some wonderful guests here. It's Maynard coming in all the way from Australia. Maynard, g'day.
G'day, mate.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm just off the back of a really horrifying ladder stream where I spent the last 5 minutes of my stream waiting for you to go live so I could host you, saying that I'm constantly angry at the game and I need to find a way to not be angry anymore because I still want a ladder every day.
Yep.
But I'm just getting very frustrated with my play.
I got to tell you, it doesn't go away. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, I then watch your Brood War ladder streams and I'm like, oh, this is going to be me forever.
Yeah. No, that's it.
Well, Dan's like one of the only guys who can sustain that level of rage while doing that. But like, I hear you. I had a bad couple of days laddering as well. StarCraft, it's the blessing and the curse. Like, it's such a complex, it's such a challenging game that if anything's going on in your head, and sometimes just the game itself, like you just kind of start snowballing and feeling real bad, it can be really hard.
And what I felt really bad about as well was I wasn't conveying it well to chat, or they weren't understanding me because they kept saying things like, oh, why don't you just try play a different game? Or watch you play a different game. And I'm like, I don't want to play a different game. I want to play StarCraft 2, but it's just, I hate fuck the game every day.
Yeah.
It makes me upset. It feels good, but it also feels terrible at the same time. But anyway, so yeah, that's where I'm at. Just laddering a lot, streaming a lot. Channel's been doing great lately, so that's awesome.
Well, good,
so
man.
At least that side of things is good.
And on the other side of the spectrum, I was watching this guy could not fucking lose a game today. It's Mr. Rotterdam.
Must be nice.
Closing in on the higher-ups of the North American ladder. Kevin, thank you for joining us, buddy, at this decent hour in Los Angeles.
I know. Yeah, no, thank you for having me once again. Complete opposite experience of Maynard, actually. Went, I think, 19-1 today with Proto, so it's one of those days where the world just kind of smiles at you and you forget about all your other problems and you're like, you know what? I love life and I love these video games.
I will say, that's pretty good. 19-1's impressive, but it's not beat Cyril tweet level of DeMuslim today. Again,
I gotta say, I would trade 19-1 for being able to tweet. Just beat Cyril on ladder today playing bio.
Yeah, absolutely.
He played Mech though.
Well,
it was Marine Marauder tank when I watched him beat Cyril. It was on.
But that's a while ago. He beat Cyril today, and today it was Battle Mech.
You gotta follow that Twitter, Maynard. It's a day-to-day thing at this point in time.
Yeah. You know what's really funny about it is that like I'm gonna go through the VOD and find it, and obviously it's not hard to find. Because either he is AFK on the victory screen, or he has his mouse hovering over the match history where he beats him, or he was in the replay, or I'm actually in the game. I was like, man, this is so smooth. It was a 3-hour stream where I think an hour and 20 minutes was, But you know what? Let the boy have it, because he did beat Sarah. So.
Well, you caught that. I like to watch Ben streams. I tuned in today, and it was just a close-up of him eating like rice and meat or something like that. And watching Europeans watch a European eat food is it's the only thing weirder than watching Europeans watch a European play StarCraft. I think they're like, yeah, put that fish in your mouth, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna tune in later. I think Ben's like, you like that? You like the fish and how it goes in my mouth?
You fucking like that, mate? I'll do it for you.
I give you $5. Will you cram in 2 bites right now? It's like, oh, okay. Where's this going? Yeah, well, it's DeMuslim. He'll be one of the commentators at Home Story Cup. You might be asking yourself, if he's beating Cyril, why is he commentating? It's because Ben's really good on the ladder, but a great commentator offline. We're gonna get into the show here. It's gonna be a fantastic episode. We're gonna talk a lot about some stuff of the old, because we've got Kevin here, and we've also got some new stuff coming up. So we had a WCS weekend. Got some big news from Blizzard, and then, of course, WCS, Home Story Cup, GSL, all that stuff. We'll cover all of it. And there were some people asking questions as well, as per usual. So it's going to be a full episode. And then next week, we're going to have another episode. I think it was on the schedule we weren't going to have an episode, but Cobra and Dan, through like the form of communication that Dan does, which is to touch base every 2 or 3 weeks, I've decided to do an episode.
I talk to you guys every week because I'm on the show, so that's not fair.
It's true. It is once a week. Literally, we settled on not doing an episode. Then today, they're like, "Are we doing a show?" They're like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Okay, guys, yeah, we're doing a show." So
you gotta keep it going, man. Yeah. That Patreon. Gotta keep it going.
That's right. All right.
This
so
is
there will be a show next week.
Actually, get information out of Dan. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's all part of Cobra's master plan. He's found a way to work with him. Anyways, before we get into the whole show, let's go ahead and get through our stuff here and talk about how the show even functions. First and foremost, thank you so much for everyone that supports us on... well, let's talk about the website, actually, because this has been my hell this week. A lot of people don't know this website exists, so it's literally the Pylon Show. If you just Google that, I think this will come up. And for you guys at home, let me just talk about Google real quick, actually. It's this really fantastic website that was developed a few years ago. I use it all the time. If I'm like, who's that actress in such and such show? You can literally just type in that full thing, and something will pop up. So every time someone's like, I had no idea there's a Pylon Show website, I know for a fact that either you don't have hands, or... And you know what? Even if you don't have hands, there's actually tools you can use to still use Google. So I don't know what excuse we can make at this point in time. But there it is. There's a website. It's really nice. It has the clock on it. So every time you're like, hey, Jeff, when's the Pylon Show? I want you to check out that clock. Not only is the show at the same time every single week, but it's also, there's a clock to show you that. If you're like, hey, Jeff, when's Tuesday? I'll tell you it's right after Monday. It's just before Wednesday. But there's also websites that can show you that as well. So it's a really great website. From there, you can find out all kinds of stuff. If you do support us on Patreon, you can ask questions through that link, and we'll answer them no matter what. As Cobra is beautifully showing you right here. And there you go. Wow. Anyways, let's talk about our support here. So it's on the screen, so let's just do this. We got AFKT from Lycan. Lycan's that guy that put a bunch of milk in a tub, laid in it, and then ate a steak and some Oreos just a week ago. Presumably he's still alive on some level, but his tea company is selling tea, and he's a great StarCraft guy, and he supports us. So please do check it out if you're a tea drinker. And then we also have a partnership with Matcherino, where you can put in a code. Cobra, what's the code today? What is the international day for today?
It's
National
Free
BSD Day.
This
What
is
is
a
that?
code base that is used in a whole bunch of things. It's an open source technology, anything from Netflix to PlayStation, WhatsApp. This is a code base that was founded a long time ago and is still used. It was founded in 1993.
1993. Artos was just 34 years old at that time. That's incredible. It just kind of started out. So what's the code you put in then? It's just free BSD, one word. You put that in the Matcherino code. We'll have that in the chats and the show notes. You guys know the drill. This helps support us. And, of course, it interacts with Matcherino, which does a lot of stuff with StarCraft. I see Zombie Grub in the chat. She does some cool stuff alongside them, I believe, for her tournaments. I saw Rifkin in the chat. He does a lot of stuff with them. So they're just the integral part of the StarCraft community. Even if you hate that Pylon Show because you just don't like that gosh darn control guy, do check them out because there's a lot of StarCraft that works through them. I will say, today's a holiday. Did you know that? It's Juneteenth. You know what Juneteenth is?
What is Juneteenth?
It is the celebration of basically the outlawing of slavery in the United States. Isn't that crazy? Juneteenth. 1865. I didn't know that.
Is that what it's actually called? Juneteenth?
Juneteenth.
Why is it called that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. But it's kind of interesting.
And yet it's Free BSD Day.
Free BSD Day, which definitely sounds like something that it's not. That sounds completely different.
That's why I raised an eyebrow as soon as you said Free BSD Day. I'm like,
careful how you celebrate Free BSD Day. Right? Maynard and I are putting that warning out there. Google search carefully is what we would say here. But anyways, that's them. And then last but certainly not least, in fact, I would say the most significant way to support the show is our Patreon, which is amazing. There's 430 plus people that do this. We missed an episode last week, and there's still a hefty number of people that say, you know what, let's support that Pylon Show. So thank you guys each and every time. We'll show your names at the end of the episode, as we always do. But just know from the bottom of our heart that we really couldn't do this without you guys. and we really, really, really appreciate it. So Patreon's how you get some cool stuff, like your ability to ask some questions or write a really long one, like Zest has been the last few weeks, and we'll get to that at the end of the show. But most importantly, it's just how you support us. And then one thing I want to kind of plug here, last but not least, please do check out our guests every week. I'll try to do a better job of doing that at the end of every episode, but, you know, these are people that take time out of the day to talk StarCraft and hang out with us, and we really appreciate them. So Kevin's been streaming a whole bunch. Maynard's been streaming a whole bunch. One is a fantastic Protoss player. The other one's a Terran player, and you guys should definitely check them out. They're all commentators. You guys know them. You love them. Just check them out, please. And follow their Twitters and stuff like that, too. All right. Let us get into the show. So we got This Week in StarCraft, I guess, Dan.
Yes, indeed. We missed it last week, so we have a lot to go over. Remember that you can check this out anywhere that you are listening to this or watching this. It will be linked to the show notes. And we have a wonderful upcoming events calendar right at the beginning of it. So you can kind of get an overview of what the year StarCraft is looking like. Anyways, let's get into it. The Banshee Tournament. QB defeated P7 Gab 3-1. And also Deity 3-0. Looks like QB is killing it lately. Kind of an interesting ID there. P7 Gab, little trivia fact. That's Zest's old ID. Pichul Gab means covered in blood in Korean.
What?
Anyways, the Banshee Tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know
and
that.
that was like his ID when he started playing StarCraft 2. I was
Covered
like,
in
who
blood.
is this joker? Pichul Gab. I got to look this up. Like, yeah. Anyways, check that out. The Banshee Tournament run by Zombie Grub. Okay, the ATL Africa TV Cup. It's a little team league going on. The MKers ended up winning over Alpha X. Very stacked lineup there. 3-0 if you want to check it out. alpha.tl/Africa TV Cup. The Alpha X Pro Series, of course, the Latino version of it, the LATAM Show Match Series. They have match number 6 coming up. Dastan versus Zions, cast by Enki and Romsley. Again, you can check this out on africatv.com. Sentimiento Latino. Ryu has won a couple of them recently over Eggs 3-0 and over Paco Mike 3-1, but Terran won over Paco Mike this time 3-0. Number 59 will be on June 22nd. Horus Open, another LATAM series, had Jim Rising winning. I guess he wasn't against JYP in the finals. Looks like he actually ended up beating Eggs. And excuse me. And Shelko won the diamond and below bracket. You can check that out on Liquipedia or on Horus TV. All right, another tournament from down there, the Eschao do Milhao. It looks like it is a Brazilian tournament. The Zerg Lord took out Terran 3-2 in the finals. Number 4 will be on the 29th of June.
The Zerg Lord. We got Marine Lord in the chat, and now the Zerg Lord winning tournaments.
Yeah. We're going to have to get the Terran Lord to take him out. Because just Terran didn't work out.
Oh, wow.
The Agrupación Deportes Electrónicos de Cuba.
You nailed that, by the way.
Yeah, no, my accent is very, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Cuba StarCraft 2 league. You can check out on BTW Esports on Twitch. All right, Kings of the North 5. Congratulations to Need for defending his title in King of the North 5. He's the one-true king. Of course, you can check that out over on eschamp.com. Just KOTN 5 as after that. All right, the BJ Destruction Match Season 2 has occurred. It looks like Team Classic defeated Team Hero 4-3 in the finals. This was, of course, a Africa run. You guys can check it out over on africatv.com. Basically, all the GSL pros playing it, so it's pretty cool. The China FPL Team Championships just finished up, and Team Triumphant Song Gaming ended up winning. They finished up over Jin Air. That only had 14 points there at the end. They had 15. Looks like Solar was the big MVP, going 13-3. Also, something occurred. The next NetEase Esports X tournament, another Chinese tournament occurred, and Newbie ended up winning over Ocean Gaming. Newbie consisting of Scarlet Time and Deer. So congratulations to them. I'm sure that we'll see more of that. That's a tournament. Well, they just turned it into a team league, but it's a tournament that goes on every year in China. Also, another Chinese tournament, the Gold Professional Championship 2019 Season 1. Innovation beat Scarlet 3-2 in the finals. This was just this past weekend. A lot of good players over there. You can check it out. Wardy actually was the English cast.
Oh.
So definitely take a look at that. All right. We also had the Dragon Boat Festival University Star League Spring Finals.
Who names this shit?
Well, anytime that you translate tournament names or team names or anything from Chinese into English, it feels like we get names like this.
The Dragon Boat Festival University?
Now, I don't speak any Chinese, but I think it probably doesn't sound as corny and weird in Chinese, right? It probably sounds just totally normal. And then we run it through Google Translate or something and get this. And we're like, whoa, that's so weird. By the way, it's kind of interesting to see as we continue to cover everything in This Week in StarCraft, how heavily everything is going like in the LATAM scene and in China. It just seems like more and more stuff is popping up in both those. And Jeff, I'm sure you recall that was how things went in StarCraft 1. Like as it got older and older, those scenes grew and grew. It's really cool to see. Anyways, nice little competitive, kind of more amateur tournament going on over there. You can check it out in the show notes if you're interested. Clash StarCraft 2 Invitational. You want to tell us anything about that, Roddy?
We are currently in week 3. We did the first broadcast of week 3, so that's Group A that was played on Tuesday. Uthermal once again won, and Reina once again won, even though Reina had to work really, really hard for it. We actually had some fun matches. Clem also, for the people who struggle in TVP, even though Goblin maybe is kind of a generic Protoss player and has only maybe 1-2 styles in the matchup, Clem played really good against Goblin, so if you struggle against the Protosses, check it out. But yeah, it was a fun show, and obviously tomorrow, so that's in, how many hours is that? In 16 hours, we're going to have week 3 Group B actions. Yeah, that's all.
Excellent. I would definitely suggest people check that out. Clem TVP, I'm a big fan. I think he's great TVP. I love his
last thing, maybe that was the highlight of yesterday, is like Uthermal played against Sol. It was actually really cool because Uthermal plays this mech style, and Sol just seemed like really fed up with it after losing 2 games in a row. So game 3, he legitimately went like 1 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport, 4 orbital commands on location, and he still couldn't win.
Oh my god!
Uthermal didn't even punish him or anything. He still just did like his regular build. He just like Uthermal's TVT seems pretty disgusting with that style. It was pretty fun.
That's sick. Uthermal, I love his style. You saw? Wait, did you commentate his mech play against Protoss from Challenger? Against DNS?
No, I wasn't there for that.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
no, actually, I was with Jeff. And the 16 siege tanks where DNS believed there was a chance.
I watched that happen.
Painful.
Could not believe that. Painful. DNS like separating his units. I'm like, what? What do you think's gonna happen?
It was a pain. He got like 2 of the tanks though. So I mean, it was. I think he did what he set out to do. All right, guys, check out the Clash StarCraft 2 Invitational. All right, Epic Land 27. Turns out Risky's in Korea. So we had a new winner. Razorblader won his first over Spazzy Mazzy in the finals. If you want to check it out, twitch.tv/EpicLand3. The Master Swan Open, Sea Duckling Open, the alternating tournament between Masters through Bronze and Bronze through Diamond went on. And it looks like number 62, Xenoblade defeated Checolate 3-1.
Guys, look at that 4th tournament winner. Well, Eminus defeated. Who did he defeat?
Terran Lord.
Terran Lord?
He exists, guys. You guys just asked for it. There is a Terran Lord.
Shit, you're right. This guy, I hope he's Brazilian so he can go take down the Zerg Lord.
He's South African.
I hope you're watching, Marine Lord. The Lord is coming.
Yeah.
These IDs, I just don't know.
Potato Pleb, that's my favorite. I don't know how you guys got past that.
Potato Pleb.
And then Molten wins, and they're like, send us a picture so you could please, so we could post that. And that's the picture he sends right there. He's like, I don't know. I have a computer.
He's like, look at me. I play on a Mac notebook. It's like, damn, strong.
Damn, dude.
All right, guys, check that out. Cranky_Ducklings on Twitch TV. All right, the NA Apprentice Tournament Season 4 has been going on. This is over on Fear Dragon's channel, of course, and it's for players that haven't reached the round of 32 last year in any of the WCS events. Check it out over on Fear Dragon's channel. The Quebec.
Is that like everybody?
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
I always thought I'm
Quebec...
Eurotrash was a Smurf, but his name is literally I'm Eurotrash. He's an American. I want to meet that guy because that's really funny. Like,
wait, who is I'm Eurotrash?
Just he's literally I'm Eurotrash.
Oh,
apparently.
I see. Yeah.
He was good a while ago. I thought he was a Smurf, but no, he's just literally his name is I'm Eurotrash.
Damn.
The NA scene, man. It's
some very interesting IDs. The fact that you go from I'm Eurotrash to Cuddle Bear in the same tournament.
Yes.
It's a big range.
I look at this list, it's so funny because I hit a lot of these guys on the ladder, like Caleb. He I don't know if he's actually really BM or if he's like silly BM, but he lost to Gemini, and Gemini tweeted because Gemini is a huge Trap fan, so Caleb, as he was leaving the game, was like, Trap's gonna lose 0-4, and they just left the game. Gemini's like, he knows me well enough to know that that's something that's important to me, and he's BMing about it. It's like, it's amazing.
But that's kind of funny, I think. Like, I can live with that kind of stuff. That's not bad.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, Quebec Starcraft League. Semper won, as should be expected, but Dire Straits took a map off of him in the final.
Those French
It took place on April 20th. Okay, that was kind of a dated tournament, but there's your results for it. All right, the WebDevs European League.
How is that here?
They must have just gave us the results just now.
2 months ago. What are you talking about?
Well,
anyways, all right.
Semper's reliving his glory right now.
Yeah.
So,
Congrats to Semper 2 months ago. Yeah, it was...
Didn't Semper just like pass the bar or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see that picture of Semper winning that tournament? He didn't even know he was going to pass the bar. That Semper right there.
He didn't know it.
Congrats, little
Look
Semper.
at that little guy.
You won a tournament, then you passed the bar. All right. The WebDevs European League. Mana defeated Clem 4-1 in the finals. Check it out over on Wardy's channel. The Olima League. It's been going on, of course, as it does every week. 156 was won by Innovation over Gumiho. 157 by Zest over Cure. And 158 by Keen over Innovation, continuing to show very strong TVT. Number 159 going to play in 5 days from now. You can check it out. Maynard, you still casting that regular?
I sure am. Yep, my channel, Twitch TV. They're great time. The highest level stuff and the highest value replay pack you can possibly get out there.
It is ridiculous.
Wow.
When it was $15, I still subbed.
There is the Muslim replay pack.
I was just Kevin and I are on the same page.
That is true, I suppose.
Cyril losing a second game to the Muslim in a replay pack?
But see, his replay pack's also got his Zerg in there. It's got his Protoss in there. You know, I'm a subscriber. I get that replay pack, and I'm looking at like some TVT builds, and you know, he's very, very high ranked. But if you want just that Codes level from start to finish, the Olima League replay pack. That's what.
But do they beat Cyril?
They don't beat Cyril. I don't know.
They don't actually play Cyril at all in the ladder. They don't play Cyril at all ever.
Huh.
Yeah, and if you watch the Muslim stream, not only can you see him beat it, you can see him break it down. You can see him watch it. You can see him talk about it.
Well, that's not the replay pack. That's the Twitch VODs right there.
That's
you want to get the real.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
you could probably find a moment in the replay that he didn't pause at to explain things. So
Dan, I know you're worried about this. If you missed it though, guys, he is streaming tomorrow. Should be able to go over that a few more times. I think
most people have a countdown. When Ben goes live, it's the replay from yesterday.
Starting the stream in 30 minutes, friends.
Yeah.
My favorite though is Ben. Like I watch Ben stream quite a bit, and he's like, do you want to see the Cyril game? You're asking about it. Yeah, of course. Let me find it. And he like scrolls through. He's like, no, that's when I beat Neeb 3-0. No, that's Marine Lord. No, that's Showtime. Great game. Macro game, by the way. 30 minutes. It was fantastic. There's the Cyril one. Is it the first or second one you want to see? Because I did beat him twice. It was a 2-game win there. And actually, I've only dropped 1 game to him, so if it was a best of 3, it'd be a 2-1 victory for your old Ben here. Yeah.
My God. All right. Well, tune into the Muslim stream and Maynard's if you want to watch the top Korean. All right. SC on the DL. Harstam defeated Namshar 4-0 in the finals. This was cast by Alaris and E-Mini, and you can check that out on Wikipedia.
Can't believe you call me
in the show notes.
You're killing
Otherwise,
it.
You got
check it out
neither of
on-
them.
Yeah,
E-mini?
because it wasn't on Twitch, right? I think this tournament was on a different streaming service that like is sort of like Twitch, but then not Twitch.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was. Yeah. So if you want,
if you want to check it out, check out Wikipedia because you don't want to watch.
yeah, that'll have the link for you because I actually don't know what the. But yeah, it wasn't on Twitch. Or I would have given you a Twitch link. Excuse me. All right, Passion Craft Open Season 10 Finals. Black Widow 4-2 over Nicorat. All right, this is for amateur / semi-professional players until 5.7K MMR. So if you're interested, if you are below that MMR, check it out.
5.7?
Yeah.
What happens
pretty
at
specific
5.7?
number. That's when you become like too good for the bracket.
In general, that's Grandmaster League on Europe. Like anything below 5.7 most of the time is not. So
Really?
Hmm.
Jeez Louise. They're good over there.
Yeah, it's quite high. A lot of players. All right. But Fear Dragon told me they weren't really that good, but like anyways, moving on. Shoshi Opti's Archon tournament #1. Blask and Goblin. Wow, you were just right about everything, Roddy. They won over Narazim and Milka. I'm not sure exactly who they are, but check it out, twitch.tv/Shoshi Opti.
Russian finals, by the looks of it. Narazim is Russian, as far as I know.
What is this? Yeah. Oh,
It's
no,
a 2v2 tournament, apparently.
Archon.
Oh, really? Archon, okay.
Yeah, there's Archon tournament in the title, so I figured it was an Archon.
I want to know out of Blask and Goblin who attack moved the charge lots and who made the Immortal target the roaches.
Yeah.
But because there was nothing at home they needed to do for the builds that kid uses. All right. Storm Cup #8. Neeb ended up winning it 4-1 over Future. Lots and lots of top American talent down there. Check it out, SciStorm.com/main/SciStorm Cup 8. SC2 Blazing Series Season 2. It began on June 17th. It's on Africa TV, the Taiwan portion of that. And a lot of great players in it, like Innovation, Parting, Cure, Polt. Definitely check it out.
Personally, I'm cheering for Butt always.
But always. Actually, there was a funny thing down here that we're going to go through where who won Challenger. And it's like, it says probe, but always. I'm like, yeah, no, I know he always... I'm like, oh, the player from Taiwan. Okay. Anyways, DSCL, the Dutch StarCraft League Nationals 2019. Congratulations to Lynn, who won yesterday's qualifier. Uthermal played Zerg and got 3rd place in the tournament. So pretty strong showing there.
I actually didn't know for sure. I know that he was very hyped about this. And he was very excited about it. Uthermal is really cool in the Dutch community, by the way. Like,
yeah.
He is like, he supports the community. He runs the tournaments. He's very cheerful for all the guys in the community. And I know that he was really pumped about it. And he was honestly like very excited because he just didn't know how he was going to do. I'm actually, who's Lind? It's a Swedish guy, no? Is that, as far as I know?
I hope not.
Well, I hope not.
He's in the Dutch StarCraft League here, my friend.
Lind is not Dutch. I'll guarantee you guys that. Like Agaham is. He's a Zerg. That's around like 6'1", 6'2 MMR. And all the other names that I see there. But Lind, as far as I know, is Swedish.
Well, maybe he's Swedish, but he lives in the Netherlands.
No, but nobody would ever leave Sweden to live in the Netherlands. So I think maybe it was
apparently French. I'm just doing a quick Google.
Okay, that's possible as well.
Well, why is he playing in the DSCO?
I think it's always open if people want to travel to the Netherlands because this was an offline event. I think they're allowed to participate, but obviously you have to.
Wow.
I'm surprised more people don't play in it.
Those Dutch are very friendly.
Everything in Europe is like right next to each other. You guys can almost walk there. All right. Anyways, check out the Dutch StarCraft League. Are you going to play in the qualifiers, Roddy?
Yeah, as soon as I'm back in Europe, I will absolutely always play. Like I always tell the boys, like I recently went to a LAN as well, which was in Eindhoven. I had to bring my own PC and stuff. But I was like, no, guys, like if there's anything I can actually attend, I will. But obviously, I'm not going to play online qualifiers from California and stuff like that. I don't find that enjoyable. But whenever I can, I will always show up and I will always participate because it's a really fun crew. The Dutch scene is not massive, but it's really good people.
Yeah.
All right. Very skilled as well. Check that out. Ewolves Discord Cup. Bly took out Goblin 3-0 in the finals. You can check this out on elite_wolves Discord. Okay, and that was on Uthermal's Twitch channel. Continues to do things for the community. Damn, speak of the devil. All right, the Pizza Pie Show match.
Oh.
Okay. I'm not sure what we're doing to our Pizza Pie Weekly here, but Starkiller wants another pizza, and he hasn't won one in a bit. He's going to be playing a best of 9 against Riser.
He's going to win a pizza now.
He's going to take that smile, that smirk off Riser's face, I think, and take his pizza home June 23rd, 7 p.m., standard pizza time.
Standard pizza time.
Here's the thing, though. It's a best of 9 starting at 7 p.m. By the time Starkiller's done with him, is the pizza place still going to be delivered?
Yeah, it's 2 NA players. It's about an hour and a half.
Then you don't know Starkiller, right?
Yeah. One base Ling Nidus, you can only do so many times inside of an hour.
Yeah. All right.
A very polarized version of Game Time, and Game Time streams like 5 hours a day, and in those 5 hours, he can get up to like 49 games done.
These young guys are so talented. They're so fast, you know?
It's good to know that all the up-and-comers just cheese every game.
Yeah.
All right. Excuse me. Moving on. General Transitions in depth. Have a couple more episodes up there. Check them out on youtube.com/ArtosisTV. Also, who is the StarCraft Master?
Oh.
It's a monthly tournament that looks to find the best player of all 3 races. It's a best of 9 where they have to play all 9 matchups to find a victor. Lambo, Beastie Cutie, and Pigs seem to be the players for this one, so check it out on Pigs' Twitch channel.
So I guess we'll be on the Australian
Piggy's getting himself in some trouble there. I love my boy Piggy, but that's not gonna end well. Maybe like his Zerg against like Lambo's Darren or something, but
I don't know if he's playing. It looks like Lambo and Beastie Cutie are going to be the 2 playing, so maybe Pig is just casting.
Yeah, that would make perfect sense, I think.
Yeah. But check that out, guys. Okay, StarCraft Sundays alongside Take TV. Excited to announce StarCraft Sundays, a weekly tournament series beginning July 1st with $1,000 plus of monthly prize money. That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Definitely, yeah. Check that out, guys. Looks like Wardy and Take are involved in that. I'm sure we'll hear more about that in the future. All right, the Afrika World show matches with Laughing Games and Falcon Paladin. We have a group of Puck, Bomber, Alive, and Solar. Check it out over on Afrika TV. All right, the Copa America going on. Of course, we have the usual favorites, as you can see.
Oh my God!
Special and Ryu, as well as Eric and Jim Rising. By the way, guys, I met Eric, talked to him down at GSL. I just want you guys to know. I shook the hand of greatness. But that is continuing forward. Looks like June 19th. So today, actually, we'll get a couple more players going through, 4 more players. All right. Esports Bolivia. They have offline stuff going on in La Paz each weekend in June and July. Wow. See, seriously, there's so much going on down there. My God.
It's up there for me.
I gotta get, up there. Well, it's funny that down is south and up is north. It doesn't really make sense.
That's really horrible. I got to wear a sweater right now. It's freezing cold here.
No, really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like 7 degrees.
Isn't that weird that they have different weather and stuff? That's crazy.
Their Christmas is like 100 degrees. It's so hot.
Yeah.
All right. Gemini, or I mean E-Mini rather, sorry.
Oh, Kevin.
That's the Korean Invitational, June edition. That's going to be going on June 23rd. Looks like Solar, Hero, Cure, and Ragnarok will be playing. Check it out over on E-Mini's channel. It's G-E-Mini SC2.
People are going to legitimately not be able to find his content because you're fucking around with his name, dude.
They'll find it. Everyone knows who he is at this point. Actually, wait. Oh my God, I just had a brain fart. What was it?
At your age, that should happen every once in a while, I guess.
Oh my God, I had something important to say.
What is the nice way to say it?
Oh, here it is. Okay. So I need you, because this is reminding me, because he only put 1 G in front of his name for his Twitch channel, and normally it's GG. Guys, when someone leaves a game and only types 1 G, that's on purpose, right?
No, not always.
Bullshit.
No,
I did it by accident today.
What?
Yeah.
Someone loses to a cheese in a tournament and they type 1 G and leave.
No. Sometimes they just try to do it really fast. Sometimes they like type the first G before they hit enter or something.
It's an accident.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Always on purpose. Sometimes maybe, but to me, whenever it happened, it's always by accident.
I see it so often in these matches. Like in I was going through challenge replays and stuff. Someone loses salty game, just a G and out. And I'm sitting there
I liked the in quotes GG. From,
no, the in quotes
I mean,
GG.
like,
That one's angry.
Yeah, of course,
one's-
because then you actually go through the effort of like, that one is really salty, the bracket GG, but the single
Shout out to
G, like to me, the single G never means anything to me. I really mean that.
Yep, I agree.
The single G, I think, is more often than not salty. I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah.
More
disagree.
often than not.
I'm with
Certainly
you.
disagree.
I think at that level, I think it is. Okay, anyways, you can't prove me wrong. All right. There was, we have a little meme in here. Basically, there was a bet. But there was a bet going on where Raynor said that Ling Bane Muta is the counter to Cyclone Mech. And, excuse me, Marine Lord said no. Raynor beat him once, and then Marine Lord won the other 2 games. I guess a lot of ultras were involved. So I don't know if we're considering that Ling Bane Muta is not the counter to Cyclone Mech or not.
Well,
haven't gotten to watch that VOD yet, but you can check it out on Lambo King, the Twitch channel. Yeah. I like that the pro gamers had a little money match. I like that type of thing. I think that's super cool.
I like that 6-year-old Raynor is gambling on the internet playing StarCraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
No, it's good. Like I like it when people put their money where their mouth is, or at least it doesn't necessarily need to be a money match. I think that's cool, and that's something the fighting game community does a lot. But like, just to be like, no, fuck you, this is the way it is. No, it's not. And then you play a match to figure it out. That's cool.
Those matches are funny. Like the Denver show match a while ago, they had is funny as well. But when people start challenging 16-year-old Raynor for money matches, we may have to take a step back, because yes, we don't have a lot of laws in Europe, but I do believe that's one of them. So.
All right, you might be right about that. I wonder if he sent it to Marine Lord. He's going to be in trouble. All right. Continuing onwards, Probot Season 2 starts on Thursday. Drek Sama and Ender Sword in charge of that. Check it out on ES Champs website as well as their Twitch. E-Mini's build of the week. Let goblins show you the way. In need of stable PvP build? Direct the StarCraft ladder with? Standard build's letting you down? Is there a standard build in that matchup? I don't know. Anyways, it is a proxy 3-gate Void Ray Adept. Sounds good to me. Check it out. I believe it should be on Team Liquid, right?
Yeah, we need more builds like that in PvP for sure. Thanks, GG.
Yeah, no, totally. Thank you for mapping that out for everyone. I can't wait to fight against that. All right, Team Liquid did an interview with Cyril. It was done with Wax Angel. Check it out over on teamliquid.net. The greatest player in the world talking about the game. You definitely want to check that out. All right, the Cyril is also playing against bots. You can check it out on twitch.tv/reactor now. It's a monthly competition. Anyone can make bots to play StarCraft 2. The winner of the bot tournament gets to play against Cyril. All right. There is this thing going on for WCG 2019 where StarCraft 2 pros are going to team up with fans. So you can go ahead and register for that. The location will be in China, in Xi'an. I believe that's how you say that city name. And you can register through June 30th. And I guess what you do is you give your reasons for wanting to play them or play with them or whatever it's going to be. And there you go. So check that out. It looks like the players are Neeb, Maru, Raynor, and Cyan.
And then be in China? Is that what it is?
I am not 100% sure, but I assume that you probably need to be in China, right?
I don't think you can play Chinese server from outside China or what they play when they're over there. So.
Yeah, that would be very, very hard to do. So, there's maybe someone watching the Pylon show is going to learn about this and go to Team Liquid to register for that. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
But check it out. All right. This week in Brood War, we had the KCM Race Survival Season 10. Looks like Team Zerg on the back of Saxry crushed Team Terran and ended up taking it. So congrats to them. You can check that out on KCM's YouTube channel. The link will be in the show notes. Let's go 6, the final 8. We had Bonneth ending up winning this tournament. It's kind of a weekly tournament that is around right now. I believe thanks to TY2. And it's just kind of filling in the time between the BSL seasons But Bonnet, the Polish Protoss, doing a great job taking out TrueTax in the finals there. All right. Well, looks like there's also a StarCraft Remastered tournament going on in Bolivia. Pretty sick. In La Paz once again. Check it out if you're down there. The Corrupted Cup as well. Excuse me. We talked about this a little bit before. It's kind of like the revival of WCG. There's going to be a grand finals in Russia in October, and all the different regions of the world except for Korea have qualifiers going on. So definitely check that out. There's all the threads on Team Liquid that you need to see. They have a Matcherino if you want to support it and all that, and a lot of it's getting casted as well. So definitely take a look. The very best of foreign StarCraft going to be brought together for a big tournament. So that's really cool. Also, the Undermine podcast. The guests this week, Antigua and Banana Brain. We talk about the different things going on in the AI scene. It's on makingcomputerdothings.com. One of the things that they talked about was Schnail, StarCraft Human and AI League. It's something that is going to facilitate bots and humans playing against each other in StarCraft 1. So definitely, if you're interested in that bot scene, check it out. This week in Awesome, we have the PCGames.com China recaps. They're doing like some kind of comic book recaps of the Chinese tournaments going on. It looks like it's in Chinese, so it looks like it's probably funny and cool, but I can't read any of that.
Nice.
All right. Also, it looks like there was a video released where StarCraft 2 with Super Mario 64 sound effects. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty funny. And of course, the greatest video. This video was so funny. Oh my God. Nice username. He put out the StarCraft 2 Community Update 2019. I clicked on this on StarCraft Reddit thinking we actually had a community update, and then was treated to something far better. Just an amazing video. Definitely go check it out. Check out Nice Username's Twitter and
gonna play
YouTube.
It,
oh, we're gonna play it?
Play it now.
We should play it.
Yeah, let's go.
Are we stealing views from him if we play it?
Absolutely, dude.
Or
if you actually read our Discord, he posted in there asking that we play it. Dan.
All right.
This is gonna be my 5th time today.
Yo, listen.
See a dragon pod's just.
Nice.
Seems like a hard fucking race to play.
Yo, listen.
It's just so good.
What is the one meme where the adepts are shooting like the beams?
Yeah, the bees. I don't know that one.
Well, what are the little bees? I see Gemini is posting about that as well. What is
I
it?
don't know the bee.
Somebody explain this meme to me. Is this a dumb meme?
Cool. That doesn't explain it.
Bee emoji.
Just
Bee
shooting
for
bee
balance?
emojis.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was, but I figured there was something else to it. Okay.
I like how we're the old guys of StarCraft and we play that video. And Kevin's like, how come the bees? Why is it the letter B? And they're like, it's just a meme. And he's like, okay. I like Dan's appearance. I like Dan
Yeah, no, that was good.
Your stream is so funny, my God.
That was an old one, though. You can see me wearing a sweater. I promise I'm not as angry anymore.
Oh, come on.
Moving on. It was announced at the KSL Finals that StarCraft Remastered on July 10th is going to get a reskin that you can purchase as all the Carbots and animations. Looks super cool. We had a little show match of it, and it looks awesome. Really, really well done. Definitely check that out for StarCraft Remastered. Also, all the War Chest structure skins are in the store now. In case you didn't get the War Chest or you didn't finish the War Chest, you can buy whatever is left over for you. Also, we have the Vorazun Nerazim bundle. It's something you just kind of log in with Twitch Prime and it gives it to you for free. I don't believe that this one has any in-control things to put into your chat, so I don't know if you need this one, but check it out. Maybe you want it anyways. And yeah, public service announcement. Send your clips to Cobra at Cobra Venom or the Pylon Show. And Cobra Venom, by the way, has 7s in it. I have people tweeting me occasionally being like, I can't find Cobra on Twitter. It's got 7s, guys. Just type in Cobra and put a couple 7s in there. It'll come up. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. That's this week in StarCraft.
Well done, Dan.
Wow.
Yeah, long week. Well, we skipped last week, right? So
I do feel like we learned that there is a shit ton of StarCraft in Bolivia happening.
Yeah, wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Latin and Chinese scenes, man, are getting so big.
I'm so glad you talked about the that Russian StarCraft tournament as well, because I actually hit the guy on ladder who made the name Corrupted Cup, and he's like, hey, why haven't you talked about my tournament on the Pylon Show? And I was like... So I began to troll him, because he actually has been messaging a little bit, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah.
Oh, Russ Brain?
No. Well, his name is Corrupted Cup.
Oh, okay.
Or something. So I was like, I don't know.
Russ Brain is the guy that makes it, but it is an awesome tournament. I'll be playing in the qualifiers for America, so
nice.
Do my best. Thank you.
Anyways, all right. So let's get into the main topics here. What is our first topic, Mr. Cobra? The WCS?
WCS news, yes, sir.
WCS. Did you whisper something?
It's the Asus one, right? The Asus ROG announcement.
It looks like it's the summer lineup, I think, is just the overall thing here. So it's going to be a couple of important things. One, Asus ROG returns, which is really, really cool. A tournament that was pretty storied in the past. That's in Finland, if you don't know where Asus ROG takes place. But that'll be August 1 through 3, so a little bit short term, but it's got some WCS points on it. Finland, I believe it's in Helsinki, actually, right?
Yes.
Yep, it's a great city. I know that a lot of people, when you talk about places to go visit, Helsinki and Finland doesn't leap to the top of your list, but they're actually pretty cool. So I think we'll see a lot of those top-notch European pro players there. There's going to be 8 invites total. Obviously, Cyril took one of them. So 7 others, and then 24 to qualify. So that'd be a really cool tournament. You guys excited for that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's super cool.
That was kind of the most exciting announcement we've had in a bit because it was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
So it feels good. It feels like the old days where it's just like, hey, here's another tournament. Oh, cool. We're gonna get some more StarCraft. I mean, the points aren't negligible. I found it interesting that it is technically open for Koreans to play, but they can't win points, right?
Yeah.
So that seems a little bit weird. And think about it, right? Like, let's say just Maru flies over, then it becomes a little bit random about who's winning the points. And the thing is, I like the Koreans being able to play, and I think that that's good, and that should be the case. But the fact that they can't win points, I guess that's okay, right? Because what if Jin Air just flew its players over? Suddenly we have Jin Air players win all the points. But it's just kind of weird that Maru could get rid of the second best player in the tournament at the first round, and he doesn't win.
I mean, they will obviously have an impact on the tournament, have an impact on who goes well. But I think it's fair that the Koreans don't get points for their region because, like you said, there is a good chance that all the Jin Air players, they'll get their flight sponsored and they'll be able to make it out there. But then certain other Koreans who may be in the running for it, but don't necessarily want to spend their own money on flying themselves to Finland. So I think in that regard, it is fair that give points to the Koreans because you don't want to set things weird in the Korean WCS ranking, so to speak.
Yeah, I definitely agree with this. But what do you think about the fact that North Americans are going to have a much harder time going to this, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's
so
true.
I mean, the thing is, I like this and I want there to be points and I think it's super cool. It's just, I guess there is no perfect answer for anything, but almost every WCS event is in Europe this year.
Yeah.
And like Fear Dragon said,
I think if I had to be honest, I don't think this was something that like StarCraft and Blizzard crafted together and was like, can we supply you this tournament? I think it was more like Asus ROG was like, hey, we actually have some interest in running a StarCraft tournament. What about your dates? And can we do it? So I don't think it's a primary concern. Like, I agree with you. It does kind of suck for our American players that everything's taking place in Europe. But I think at this point, it's more of a like, where you can get it, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like this tournament replaced a North American-based one. It's just this tournament exists in its own vacuum, and they're giving WCS points to add more prestige to it. I know that the European scene is very excited. A lot of those, we see TLO talking about it. We see a lot of these players saying that's really cool. It kind of came out of nowhere, a little bit short notice, but for people in Germany, Poland, and stuff like that, a flight over to Finland's not a big deal at all. So they'll all be able to make it.
I think the big tell of this tournament's not like, was a little unexpected for Blizzard and that sort of thing was the fact that they, the GSL versus the World date's been moved, which definitely wasn't the plan. It was in the schedule for a very long time. Unfortunately, that wasn't updated until the announcement of Asus ROG, which, a lot of people out there are pretty upset about the fact that they booked their flights because a lot of people, outside of esports, regular people book their flights months in advance. It's something that you do well and truly ahead of schedule to get the cheaper flights, and it works out for you and you can plan ahead. And that screws those people over, unfortunately, which is a real shame.
So GSL versus the World was originally going to be like the 1st through the 4th, right?
Yes.
So if you are flying in for that, we have for the schedule that we have right now, you'll still be able to catch probably a couple GSL days and maybe a couple ASL days. So there's still some StarCraft going on in Korea, but obviously it's not the same as GSL versus the World.
It's bad. I think the amount of people that got super boned by this is very little, because I think GSL versus the World is really awesome, but I don't. And correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they're like, no, there are hundreds or dozens of us. I don't know, but it just sucks. That I'm not trying to make an excuse at all, but I don't think this is like a global pandemic of like they switched the BlizzCon dates and now there's like hundreds of people that have these expensive tickets that are invalidated. But for the people that were like, no, I was going to GSL versus the World. It was a cool thing that we're going to do. This sucks. This really, really sucks. So it's too bad. But on this show, let's show the date for GSL versus the World just so we can try and broadcast that as well.
Yeah.
So
15th through 18th of August, I do believe, is the new date that we have for it.
That's right. Yep. And I mean, the community is definitely that they'll be annoyed for a bit, but as far as the community is concerned, they have a brand new StarCraft tournament, which is a big one and featuring Koreans and WCS players. So, like, the good, I guess, outweighs the bad. Like the needs of the many, etc.
I wonder how many Koreans will actually fly out to it, because there's a lot of Koreans with sponsors right now, but a lot of them are Chinese sponsors. So I don't know if that reach for them means really anything for the Chinese sponsors, because I think that the Chinese teams, like, does the China scene, is there any chance they're going to watch Assembly? Like, is that worthwhile? I don't know. I
don't think it'll be a lot, but it's $25,000. I'm always surprised by how many Koreans show up to Take TV Homestrike Cup, which is like $10,000 or $15,000. So $25,000. I think you'll see a few at least, right? And
I think Janelle will send some people. They're pretty wealthy. They got some players that could do pretty well there. I think Triumphant Song Gaming will probably send people, the Chinese team, like you mentioned. I think that they will. You'll probably see Solar there. You'll probably see Hero there. I'd imagine there'd be a good number to get everyone really excited. I'm really hyped for it, actually.
Yeah, I would love to see a little group of strong Korean players go out and see how they match up right now against the top Europeans.
Probably pretty.
It's exciting. I really like that Asus is doing this. Yeah. Makes me feel good.
It is kind of weird timing that, like, normally GSL versus the World is that like midway point throughout the year where we can get really excited over seeing like the top Europeans and the top NA players versus Koreans finally. And now, like 2 weeks before GSL versus the World, you have a clash between Koreans and like top Europeans. I do think that takes a tiny bit of the magic away. Like, I'm still happy we got the tournament, don't get me wrong, But I feel like the timing feels a bit weird. Like it would have been a lot better if it was early May or something, right?
Yeah. But again, it feels like an afterthought, this thing. Like it just sort of happened and they try to make it work as best they can.
I think that's exactly right. Would not be surprised. But it will be cool. It's just going to be more content for us all to watch and get. And I do agree with Kevin. I think the other way to look at it, though, is just it's more non-Koreans versus Koreans. So, yes, like GSO versus the World was kind of, unfortunately, that one event where you got that taste before BlizzCon, stuff like that, or maybe a Katowice, which is, at this point, 5 months earlier. But I think there's a lot of fans that just want more of that, right?
Yep.
Especially if the guys that post on Reddit, they're really excited.
It's definitely a good thing. I'm not trying to make it sound like a bad thing. I'm very excited for it.
Just, if you could relax, Kevin. It sounds like you're really down on this. Like, just...
I know, guys. Like, I'm sorry. I take my medicines this morning. Like, I'm getting a little angry over here.
Jiminy Christmas. Very contentious. But Cobra is also showing something else. I think there's a Cheeseadelphia that's taking place in the summer. It's going to have some WCS points as well.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, that's good.
There it is. July 27th through 28th. So that'll actually be before.
Cool.
Just before all this. So there's your Americans winning some WCS points, I guess. Potentially.
And how many?
I don't think it's WCS points, right? It's just a way to get into Challenger, if I recall correctly. I don't think there are points
for Challenger.
Well, I guess like you can get points.
You get points for Challenger.
Yeah, but you get those regardless. This is not extra points. So they're still different.
Yeah. You know what? You just said the word. Do you know regardless and irregardless are basically the same thing?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like literally. Literally means
irreliterally?
both literally and not literally.
No. That's not the same thing at all.
No, it does. Go look it up now. It's actually, the meaning of it has changed because people use it so poorly all the time.
Anyways.
I'm literally dying.
All right. Well, what is our next? So that's the summer schedule. You guys can get hyped about that. What is our next topic, Mr. Cobra Venom with the 7? Big reveal. I think those were 2 topics. So yeah, we just have the HSC preview now, Home Story Cup, which Rotterdam will be traveling back to the Netherlands to prepare himself to commentate. I will be heading over there as well to commentate. But all of that aside, I think the big reveal here is that it's 2019, guys. And if you thought Katowice was lit up by the Muslims commentating, if you thought the Clash Invitational, an online tournament, was lit up by the Muslims commentating, hold on to your seats, because the Cyril Slayer himself is putting aside the golden mouse and also commentating. And as if that wasn't enough, our very own French Latade is ending a 1-month bank drain into Vegas to go back to Home Story Cup and to eat Vapiano and to commentate about 3 matches a day, alongside stellar interviewer Hodgkinson.
Yes.
With the camera work of Mapu, who you might recall is the 4th best observer, just behind
Is
Funko.
Mapu traveling from Tokyo to Home Story?
I hope so. Yeah,
That's
probably.
At the very least.
Wow.
With some pretty incredible ideas on how to introduce segments by Take himself. We haven't seen 6 months. I mean, it's been 6 months of him thinking of such hits as "Let's Carry the Couch Across All of the City." It's also the summer edition, which is one of my favorites. So 400 nerds packed into a German porn dungeon with their body heat and the computers should make the place one of the hottest ovens in Germany in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Damn.
All
You're
right,
gonna say
I've
something.
got some good news for you though when it comes to the weather forecast.
Yeah.
The current weather forecast for the Home Story Cup days is around 94, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're gonna have a ball, my friend.
Damn.
Damn, that's like 38 in like Celsius. That's pretty damn.
This
hot.
is my favorite Home Story Cup because it's seriously like, we always joke and laugh, but it's like Kevin and I show up at like 10 a.m. every day. We get out of there at 1 or 2 a.m. and we commentate the majority of that. And then at about 9 p.m. till about 4 a.m., it's drunk Germans like gyrating behind the couch and like, you know, like everybody like, I got to use the bathroom. Be like, Jeff, can you take a picture of you choking me? I'm like, no, don't be a dick. Just do it. And then I'm like, God, this sucks. But it's not even, I'm not the worst victim. The best is Kevin, who's like Mr. Nice Guy. They're like, Roddy! He's like, yeah, mate, what can I do for you? They're like, why do you look so tired, dude? Have you thought about sleeping some? Kevin's like, that's real funny, my friend. Oh, my God.
Twitch chat comes to life in person.
Twitch chat actually.
Oh yeah, it happens actually. Like Home Story Cup is literally where Twitch chat comes to life.
Yeah. Got to experience it that one time.
And I told this story on a Pylon show many moons ago, but one of my favorite parts too. Kevin, what European players have you lined up to confront on certain ladder antics at this Home Story Cup? Do you have anybody? Any talks?
I have to take a closer look at the player lineup, but lately everybody's been pretty sweet to me.
They've been pretty sweet.
Keeping a close eye on those mules raining down when they really shoot it. Artosis now makes me aware of those single G's out there.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Single G's, dude. Single G's.
The thing is, they know I'm coming for them. So no, everyone's very sweet to me.
Here's the players that are announced. I don't know how they do it, man. This lineup is insane. Like Zess is incredible. Serals, we're gonna get that. This is the other sample of non-Koreans versus Koreans, and Home Story Cup has become more and more serious. Like it used to have kind of the joke players like myself or White Raw towards the end of his career and stuff like that, but now it's just like this is a premier tournament. This is the best Europeans and a grip of absolutely top tier Koreans, and then usually we have a few North American players there. I guess TLO is the only one this time, but
they haven't announced everyone yet, so they're still announcing.
Look how good this lineup is.
Yeah, it's really
no, it's ridiculous.
On that screen.
Even TY, goddamn, that's sick.
Yeah, TY, Zess, Sue. It's I think Solar was announced. Well, yep, Solar top right. Bunny. I became a fan of Bunny after the Home Story Cup. He's just
a
really
fun guy
funny.
to
He's
be
got
at
great
post-event
English.
with.
Yeah,
he's the best Korean offline, in my opinion. Really, like if you can ever have a chance, any of the fans out there watching, if you ever have a chance to like truly hang out with Bunny, like if somehow the opportunity aligns, he's the best Korean out there. He'll never go home. He'll drink plenty. He likes a cheeky spin at the roulette wheel. Like he's a lot of fun. Bunny's a guy.
And I make my jokes, but seriously, like Todd adds a lot. Ben is fantastic. I love that he's there to commentate. And then, of course, a lot of these pro gamers, we're seeing a lot more of their personality starting to come out as well. I think, I got to say it, we haven't talked about it in a little while, but like Seral's become one of the funnier, cool people as an interviewee. And last Home Story Cup, he was hilarious on the couch the few times he was there because he was too busy winning the damn thing. But like, I'm really excited because the StarCraft here is amazing. It has felt like forever since we've had our last Home Story Cup, and my chat was reminding me it's been about 6 months, which is crazy. So I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. Anything else you guys want to add about Home Story Cup? I mean, it's next week, by the way, so it starts about Thursday, and it goes through the weekend.
Well, we don't have the entire lineup yet. I assume they're going to try to keep the races somewhat evenly balanced. I'm sure that a lot of good Protosses and Terrans are still going to be announced. You guys have anyone that you're looking at that's unusual that you think will do well at the tournament? Yeah. Obviously, I'm not looking for like a Seral, but
I mean, Utermo, I think Utermo has been playing, obviously Utermo's always good, and I think he's always a top European, but lately he makes some of the best of fives where he beats other top Europeans look easy. So I think Utermo in particular is in really good shape, and I hope that he can truly bring his A game. But, Mark is an emotional guy. If he's not feeling it, then he will be the first to say that he's not feeling it, and then his play will also look like it. But if Utermo does play his best, I actually think he can do some serious damage, even to some of the top Koreans in this tournament, for sure.
Arson, we saw earlier, has won a few tournaments. He's been looking really good. Hero Marine, all memes aside, has actually been tearing it up on his stream and just looking really good as well.
M-Lord as well, though. Marine Lord. He's been looking good lately. Yeah.
Marine Lord, too.
Yeah. That's Marine Lord is like the guy that I would buy stock in right now. I think he's going to like really bust out, and he's looking so good, man.
But he whines so much. Like I believe that at one point it's going to hold him back a little bit. He whines so much.
Innovation whines so much too, but he's still doing all right.
I think the difference is, Marine Lord's been getting results, so take it for what it is. But he's also like, I think he whines and can actually kind of trip up in a series, whereas Innovation doesn't feel things for like a long time.
Gotcha.
Right? But we'll see.
And of course, Raynor, guys. I mean, I don't think we need to pick him because we all know that he's freaking good. But Raynor in the same tournament as Sarah is always going to be fun.
Yeah.
My fun is little interaction after WCS Spring when they just played against each other. Sarah stands backstage in the players' lounge, eats an apple, hopes that nobody disturbs him. Obviously, a couple people walk up to Sarah. One point, Raynor shows up with his backpack. They just played. Sarah won 3-0 this time. And Raynor was like, next time, I'll get you. 3-0 for me. And Sarah just looks at me like, Okay, I was like, this banter went so wrong because Ray was clearly like trying to play a little bit and he was being funny, but Sarah was dead serious, eating his apple. I don't know, probably winning about the next tournament or thinking about the next time he's going to.
What was the godlike tweet after Cyril won the semis? Or something it was like back in the finals, business as usual, or something like that.
Yeah.
Amazing tweet. It was actually the most like almost a shit post from our champion, which I love.
Yeah.
Hope he does it more.
He's known as a funny guy amongst that group. Like he doesn't. He's very professional and serious in broadcast, but he's a funny guy.
He says very little, but the things he says, they're always funny and they always make people chuckle and stuff.
I'm excited. This crew is like, that's what I'm saying. I look at the screen and actually all these guys are heating up. You know, Lambo's actually getting better results and looking good. Yep. Like you said,
Drogo as well.
Petit Drogo, Petit Drogo's been doing great. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm stoked. And this is, believe me, we tell you, I'm not doing that caster thing where I'm like, everyone's so darn good. We're pretty good about telling you when we think players look like they're declining or not doing well. But this it's ridiculous. It's stacked.
Stacked
a bunch of badasses.
Absolutely insane. So that's Home Story Cup. That's next week. You can see the date right there. Make sure and check it out as per usual. And make sure and bring some cash, because I guarantee you there will be a little cheeky Dennis on a couch. We'll ask for Jeff to come over and Kevin and maybe Ben. And Todd, and they'll try to get some money together because there still is Home Story Cup 20 this year. That is the plan.
I was about to ask, how's that looking? Because it's very quiet on the 20 front.
It's very quiet on their side, so we don't know. Knowing Dennis, and I obviously can't speak for him, so this is just conjecture, but he is determined to make something very, very special happen. They talked about Vegas, but if it's not going to be Vegas, then it's going to be, what he wants is some kind of alternative site that's a bigger and better thing. So get your paychecks.
But still making sure there's drinking and gambling, like everything that Home Story Cup represents.
Of course. It goes without saying.
I'm sure that Dennis will tell us a lot about what the status of Home Story Cup 20 is. And I'm absolutely positive that we will get a Home Story Cup 20. I don't think that's the question. But whether Vegas or not is going to happen, I honestly currently don't know the current status. But Dennis did update me a while ago, and he even went to Vegas. He went on a trip. He spoke with multiple floor managers, and he thought at one point it was going well, and then he had a massive setback. I don't know if he's going to share the story or not on stream, but I don't want to do that. But I know that he's trying very hard, and I know that he's still working on it, and I'm sure we'll know more by the time Home Story Cup comes along.
Yeah, something special will happen, and if you've never been to a Home Story Cup, but you want to do a trip this year, I would set money aside for something like that. It's a special experience, and we won't always get it. We're in bonus land as far as I'm concerned, actually, because it was not too long ago that Dennis, with like tears coming out of his eyes, talked about the last Home Story Cup, and then there's been like 3 more. So anyways, that's really cool. Really excited about that. On to the next topic, and Cobra, do I see correctly that we remove the next one, or we're going on to the next one?
Top is good under middle screen.
There was a chat, something in our Zoom chat as well.
No, it's okay.
The Pure Legacy one?
Oh, God, Dan. Dan.
Huh.
This is like that situation where like grandfather like accidentally burps and vomits on his chest, and everyone's like, oh, no. Would someone like to take him to go clean himself? And Dan's like, why? Because he threw up on himself? And we're like, oh, jeez.
How is it like that at all?
Because I think we're not
You're
talking
saying
about...
you don't know what the next topic is.
No, it is actually down there. Never mind. Okay. So some news came out. Kim Fan, and this was actually kind of reported a while ago, actually. Rod and several other journalists.
Richard Lewis.
Dick Lewis. He leaked this. Kim Fan is leaving Blizzard. And she's going off to another company, and as per usual, she will announce that when she can. She actually made a post on Team Liquid, which I thought was really cool. And then she tweeted about it.
And she was active in the thread as well, actually replying to a couple of people that were just immediately speculating about, like, why she's leaving and stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool of her. So not just the post, but she actually replied to some of the comments as well. Because we all know how it goes. We say something, and then a bunch of people are like, this is why he said that. And it's like, whoa, these people are just deciding for me why I said something. That's actually quite interesting. Yeah. Kim is active in the thread, and she replied to plenty of things.
It is kind of funny, though. So a couple things of note with this. She was with Blizzard for, I believe, 13 years, which in gaming/tech industry, the equivalent to that is like 100 years. That's an extremely long time. And Blizzard has always been able to garner like a lot of loyalty out of their people. They stay at Blizzard an unerringly long period of time. Like, it's very typical for you to look up a gaming person, like, and when I say that, I mean a dev or a community manager, whatever, or in her case, an executive, and to see them say, formerly of Riot, formerly of Blizzard, formerly of Valve, like, they work everywhere. So it's incredibly crazy that she worked there that long. It's not necessarily super, super sad news, but as was reported by Richard Lewis and Rod, she was, and this is the part that doesn't get put in her own words on a post, but this is what's funny too. I always like when these announcements are made, they're like, hey, it's been this beautiful long time. I love you guys so much. It's been so great. It's with a heartfelt thing. And then I could see her just like look up and be like, they made me a huge offer. I'm rich, bitch. I'm gone, motherfucker. Like, she got paid. So, and good for her. Like, that's not actually a bad thing at all. She put in her time and was the esports. She worked her way up to being like the esports manager for Blizzard, which is a gigantic job, but hugely stressful. Another company recognized her talents and said, "How about we like I don't know the number, by the way. She just got paid a lot. She got offered a lot of money and she took it. She's got a family. She's got a kid. So good for her."
Yeah. And a lot of people out there don't realize that she's originally just a huge community figure for like through and through for the Warcraft 3 scene. Like, I don't know how many Warcraft 3 people out there. Started as a Warcraft 3 caster, and then got picked up by Blizzard to be head of esports, all of esports. That's Hearthstone, everything. Like, that's
oh yeah.
And such a class act to go on a Team Liquid, where she even mentioned at the start of that thread where it all began 15 years ago. Go back at the end and say, "See you later, guys." Very, very cool of her. She'll be at BlizzCon as well, she said. So still, fan of the game, supporting the scene. Very cool.
Yeah, I do want to mention, like, she's very, very important as far as StarCraft esports goes. She's like, like the level of Mark or something where, this was such an important person for StarCraft esports overall. Like, for instance, she's, you know how it's like in case of emergency break glass, it's like in case of emergency Kim Fan, where like if she'd fix things, she was always in contact with everyone, making things happen all the time. She's been around forever. Like, I've worked so close with her for such a long time. I'm very happy for her to follow whatever path that she wants and all that, and that's great. And she wasn't like fired or anything, so congrats to her on making her decisions and doing her life. But I think that for StarCraft overall, it's a very sad thing. For Blizzard overall, it's a very sad thing because she's been around forever, knows everything, has done everything, was part of everything at the beginning, right? Like, if you look at where we're at right now and how many people have either been cut or left, right? Like, if you look at StarCraft 2 esports, Mike and Amy Morheim, no longer there, right? Mark got fired. Kim Fan is leaving. Like, these are the biggest, most important names. And there's still some very good people there and stuff, but I mean, the type of weights falling upon the people that are left over with these titans of the esports industry that are no longer going to be involved with the StarCraft 2 esports, it's just... Oof.
It's actually, to me, it's actually even crazier than that, because one of their biggest focus, they being Blizzard, the Overwatch League, the commissioner, the guy that put together their entire league, actually fairly recently left them as well.
Yeah.
To go start the league for, well, not start, but to like take over the league for Fortnite, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Pretty incredibly scary bad news.
Yeah, I think the most worrying thing for me is when, as someone that's worked in a bunch of different companies and that sort of thing, when I see a CEO leave, it's not like you get one person to replace them. Like, they're so important and they're so integral and they do so much work that it's like 3 or 4 people need to do their work. And with the esports, I guess, crew already being cut down to size, they just have so much more work ahead of them now. Like, they doubled or tripled their workload by having these people leave. No doubt, like, they've known for a while and they've been trying to transition, but it's got to be very stressful for the community. Like, a lot of people out there are like, where's the community update? Why don't they communicate? Why isn't the Twitter active? It's because they're trying to juggle 1,000 flaming swords right now. Like, it's, it's tough. So give them a little bit of a breather.
Yeah.
Go ahead and ban that guy real quick here.
It's like, yeah, I guess I already said it, but congrats to her and best of luck, because she's ridiculously good at her job and knows she knows how to do everything. So whoever is hiring her, they're, you know, that's very, very good for them.
I think the scariest thing here too is we can hear Artosis kind of giving his transition speech right now. So I guess you'll be working with Kim Fan pretty soon, Dan. Is
I like RTS
Check your
games
email,
a little bit too
Kim.
much,
Check your email, okay?
Yeah.
New Fortnite commentary. No, it's one of those weird moments where it's. I think this 2 or 3 years ago would not have a sad tone to it. It'd be like, oh, that's, you know, good for her, and that's too bad. But there's just been too many like, and even if this isn't, you know, like, again, they're not coming out and being like, well, it's just failing, so I'm out of here. She's not saying that, obviously. It just feels like there's some people jumping ship right now, so it's kind of hard. We're kind of like waiting for good news, and it doesn't feel like there's been a whole lot of super strong good news.
Well, that's part of why I think the Asus thing is cool, because that was an unexpected good news, because we kind of are sitting around expecting like slightly bad news all the time right now, right? Just because people do keep leaving the firings, and, you know.
But StarCraft keeps crushing it.
That's Overwatch League, that they put all of the esports money into, it seems, has even left. And it's like, what does that mean for StarCraft? Now Kim is gone. It's like, if Adrian announces that he's leaving, man.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
What I'm going to do.
Nick's got a podcast that's talking with fighting game players. You know, it's like, what's going on? What is going on here?
That $1,000 call.
How's that phone call coming along, guys?
No one's taken the bait yet.
Haven't got it yet. I keep checking. I was listening to Tasteless podcast on Spotify today.
Wow.
Like, how's that match arena? I checked the page. Nothing there yet. Oh, the Patreon, sorry.
I'm waiting for Dan to sell his Hearthstone BlizzCon trophy so he can afford that phone call, and then to call his own buddy and be like, hey, man, it's Dan.
Call him live on the Pylon show. Get him on as a guest finally. Probably leave after 15 minutes. I'm like, only 15 minutes?
You're everything to me, Tasteless. Please don't hang up. Please don't hang up, Tasteless.
God, that's $75 a minute. What are we doing?
I took a second mortgage, Tasteless. Please don't hang up.
I'm so sad that basically the only chance I get to see Nick is probably at BlizzCon or so, because it's going to be a year buildup of memeing about that, and he's going to... It'll be good. Anyways, congrats to Kim Fan. And like I said, for us, I know that it took a little bit more of a somber feel to it. I can't help but to kind of convey to you guys that there is a little bit of that sense, but at the same time, it's weird that it mixes, because like we were joking earlier, the Latin American scene's exploding. China's having tournaments up to wazoo that we don't even fucking hear about, and they got these pro gamers flying around, playing in team leagues. The viewership is still continuing to be pretty good. WCS, the events were okay. It's ridiculous. StarCraft's doing really well, but it feels like Blizzard is having these kind of weird announcements that are sad, and they're not following up with something good, right? Like, that would be the thing. If they were like, Kim Fan's leaving, but look who we fucking hired, or we got this really exciting thing coming up, or something like that, that would be cool, but there's none. In fact, one of the announcements they made a while ago is they canned a project that none of us knew about, because Blizzard's amazing at being secretive, where they had Dustin Browder working on a StarCraft-based FPS for 2 years. That's actually where he went. And I got to be honest with you, I have a lot of inside connections. I heard nothing. I thought he was working on what ended up being the Diablo mobile game or something like that, but no, they were working on. And actually, we have Ian Black, who since then moved on to work with CNC Rivals. He left Blizzard, but he actually was part of the project when he was there, and he said it was going to be incredible. It was like this really cool FPS StarCraft-based game. He was like, damn, that was the thing I was most excited about. Canned. It's done. Gone. Crazy. It's weird.
Yeah. It's... Well, I mean, I guess that they're a company and they just focus on what they want, but... I don't know.
When stuff's being canned at Blizzard, it's usually for a good reason, right? Like with the Overwatch thing, when that was going to be an MMO called Titan, they ended up canning it. A lot of people were upset, like, "Oh, this new MMO, it's not happening." Where's
Titan
that?
was Overwatch.
Yeah, and then they changed it into Overwatch, so it became something better. So with Blizzard being secretive, maybe this project is becoming something else, or maybe it's just got the head cut off of it. It's kind of hard to know.
Project Ari has become something else. Maybe. We'll see. But they also kind of leaked out that it's it's looking like we're getting a Diablo 4, and then they are working on that mobile game. So Diablo's a great game. That'd be kind of fun. Anyways, guys, that is that news, and we'll, of course, kind of keep our pulse on it. But again, congrats to Kim Fan. One of the cool things about Kim Fan, too, and I think it's indicative of that Team Liquid post, she's very plugged into the community, so I'll probably be getting an angry email that I said she got paid or whatever like that. But Kim, I love you. You're great. And fuck him, dude. Fuck him. You got paid. It's great. So let's move on to this next topic. We have Roddy on here, so I thought this was a better time to have this conversation than to have it without him. But Kevin, about a week or two ago, conducted an interview with Pure Legacy, which we did talk about on the Pylon show as well. But I guess that's all the introduction I'd even give, Kev. You want to kind of talk about what the reaction to that's been, what you kind of found out in that video, and why you did it, I guess.
Okay, so maybe first things first, why I did it. The main reason why I did it is because every single time I would play against him, my entire chat would be filled up with people telling me I'm playing a map hacker. Now, I've been playing RTS at a pretty decent level for the last 14, 15 years. I like to think that I know when I'm playing against a map hacker or not. And at one point, I was getting a little bit sick and tired of people telling me I'm playing against a map hacker. Well, it didn't feel like to me that I was playing against a map hacker. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that he has never cheated in his past, or that I think that his bad mannered or toxic behavior in the past is all right, or where he has stream sniped streamers, which he admitted to as well in the interview, but maybe a few too many times, and that is all okay. The only thing that really bothered me is that people kept telling me I'm playing against a map hacker. Well, I'm not fucking stupid. I know when I play against a hacker or not. Anyway, the news came out. Obviously, I actually casted a couple of his games in the WCS Open qualifiers. And also one of the main reasons why I wanted to do the interview is that, you know, he did publicly state that he actually asked for permission to play in these WCS qualifiers. He asked for permission. Permission was granted at first under review, but still it was granted. He then participates in the qualifiers, qualifies fair and square, and then in the end he still gets kicked out. And I'm like, well, he's clearly getting punished for his bad past, and that's okay. But, you know, everybody's getting out there like, fuck this guy, he's terrible, toxic piece of shit, he's a map hacker, and all of that. And I was like, you know, everybody deserves their side of the story, right? Like everybody deserves to, you know, have a chance to share their opinion about it all. And that was kind of my motivation behind it.
I watched some of your interview with him, but the thing that really strikes me here is if you request, because you know that you have a shady past, and they say yes, how in the hell does that get turned around? I'm so confused. That's so illogical.
Well, that's where I think the biggest discussion is about going on right now, right? So there are multiple people that are convinced that they have sent replays. Like, it's really funny, by the way, because it feels like I'm the fucking lawyer of Pure Legacy. Yeah, I know you think I am, but I'm not. But it's the same with the whole Maxset thing. I was not Maxset's lawyer. I was just standing up for thinking what I was right. And hey, Maxset was playing in WCS Spring 2 months ago, a Blizzard event. Nobody has ever apologized for accusing Maxset, right? But, you know, I stood up for him. Just like I kind of want to stood up here for, or stand up for Pure Legacy, just because in my eyes, he's been playing fair for quite some time. And if he is getting punished for the past, I would like to know how this exactly works, right? I just feel like there should be strict rules.
Yeah.
If you cheated here, then you get punished here. And if you ask permission and you're allowed to play, then you shouldn't be banned afterwards. Now, the main thing I think that is currently going on is that there are people that are convinced they played against Pure Legacy in the last 4 or 5 months, maybe earlier this year, in the beginning of the year. This has nothing to do with the WCS qualifier, by the way, but these are ladder games. And obviously, if somebody would be cheating on the ladder in, let's say, January 2019, fuck no, they shouldn't be playing in WCS, you know, 6 months later. I'm totally on that side as well. The real question here is just, did he actually do it or not? Because he is saying over and over and over and over again, I'm only repeating what he says, 100% that he did not cheat anything on Battle.net over the last 3-4 years. Like, he is 100%, he's repeating himself over and over again. He's like, I'm not that fucking stupid. I would never go to this far, you know, to prove the world that I'm not cheating if I know that I'm guilty. So, you know, that's kind of what the whole discussion is about right now.
Yeah. Well, I think that Blizzard should release how they made the decision. I think that that's very important. The thing is, there needs to be some period of time after you've done something like hack where you get to come back and you get to play.
Yeah.
Like watching the interview, like he says he didn't hack since 2015. I don't know. Blizzard probably does know.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, just like all these other drama things that we hear about, like, does that pass the truth test in my head? No, but
well, that was the
I
worst
don't
part
have
about it. Was the Blizzard tweet says recent. It uses that word, and if there's no way they mean recent is in 4 years ago.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
You know, to his defense, and once again, I'm not the lawyer, but like I know of a certain player. I know, Jeff. You can tease me all you want, and that's fine. I fight for what I think is right. There's a certain player who I know sent 2 replays to Blizzard, quite like around the time of the WCS qualifier, saying that these are letter replays. This is where Pure Legacy hacked against me. Now, one of the very best Terran players in the world has also looked at those replays, and he has said to me, he's like, this is bullshit. This is actually doesn't seem like hacking to me at all. He's like, this could be me playing. This is just making the correct decisions based upon what you see. So this is kind of where, like, this is why I kind of stepped up a little bit, because I feel there's a lot of people who whine about their opponent map hacking or cheating when it's actually not the case. And this was also one of my main reasons behind the video, where I think it's really funny how in StarCraft, you know, we're all supposed to have good manners. We're all supposed to not say certain things and stuff like that. But nobody has ever caught flack for accusing people falsely of map hacking. This happens pretty often on streams. Like, you watch almost any streams, like, I think this guy map hacked, this guy cheated. I don't know why it's okay for somebody to just tarnish somebody else's their reputation. You know, imagine if you're like little Billy Joe, you're on the ladder, you worked really hard, you finally get up to 5.5K, you play against a streamer, and that guy just says in front of 500 viewers, and this fucking Billy Joe guy's a map hacker. Yeah, like that's sad, because this dude can't even defend himself. So that was also one of the reasons why. And this is like unrelated to the Pure Legacy situation, because, you know, that's obviously a much more complicated situation. But yeah, that was also one of my main reasons why I really think that this shit should stop. And streamers should not just be freely to accuse anybody they lose to and label them as a map hacker, because it's really messed up.
Yeah, it's okay to be upset about losing and stuff. If it wasn't, I would be in a lot of trouble. But you shouldn't be calling people hackers and accusing people. And the thing is, if there is some sort of program where you can send in replays to be checked for hacks or something, look, that's fine. But yeah, you shouldn't be just slandering people left and right. And also, I saw a lot of people like posting that, you know, he flames and he says some very questionable thing in chat. And Roddy, don't defend someone like that. No, you guys are actually dumb. This is a different matter. You don't let someone get banned for something that they're accused of and then be like, but they did this other thing that's morally questionable, so we're just going to let this other thing slide. No. Those are 2 different things. They should be dealt with differently. The hack thing is a thing its own.
Let me attach a few of these things, okay? So there's a lot of conjecture around this. There's a lot of stuff. But first of all, when Blizzard analyzes someone for a hack, they don't just watch the replay and say, that looks suspicious, that person must be hacking. They actually go into the information of the game itself and find out if it's been manipulated, if there was a hack involved. So let's put away, first of all, this like the replays that were turned in by salty players led to him being found as a hacker. That's not how that works with Blizzard at all. They need replays because games can have hacks that other games don't. If you have a hack on your computer, it's not just that exists in every game you play with the hack on or not is then found to be hacking. It has to actually alter the information inside the game itself. So that's why every time you report someone for hacking, if it's legitimate, they'll say, give us the replays, and then they'll be like, yes, this person used to hack. And that's how we actually know, by the way, that he qualified legitimately. Yeah. Now, hang on. I strongly disagree with what Dan said. I understand the idea behind it of, like, they're 2 isolated things, and I get that. And I would never want someone to be falsely punished for something because they're a shitty person. But the way I operate, and I've always operated this way in StarCraft, and I've joked about wanting to be the warden, because it's always been nearly impossible to 100% catch somebody. But one of the things I've always defaulted to is like really shitty people, and we're talking about people that like this guy. There's screenshots of him using the N-word. There's him talking about homophobia. There's like, and I'm not being like he's like that's a gay build. That's not what he's saying. He's saying like the worst of the worst stuff. And yes, it's just words. And very often, a particularly European fan will be like, "What's the problem, mate? It's just banter. It's just words." I get it. It's not like legitimately hurting people, but you need to understand there's people out there that are sensitive to that stuff, that don't have as strong of a base of like, they're not confident. So when someone's harassing and saying really terrible stuff, it has a different effect on them. Now that alone to me is not reason enough to punish him, but to me it's the gray area where I'm like, this guy said he hacked. He's a piece of shit actively to this day. He gets punished in this. Kevin, I'm talking about.
When is the last time you've really seen him misbehave, though, Jeff?
To me, like weeks ago.
Yeah. Weeks?
Well, first of all, what's your bright line here?
No,
is it a month? It's okay?
No, absolutely not. Like, I'm actually agreeing with you that I think that you can actually eliminate people from a competition for their behavior.
You're cutting me off. You're cutting me off. That's not what I'm saying. Don't. No. Don't turn that into my point, because that's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying go on.
It's okay. There's guys in the chat agreeing with us, and that's why I'm like, I need to finish my point. The point is, if a person has a hacking past, they actively harass and try to make people's experience with StarCraft bad, and they just do that. When this person is found to be cheating, and it's like, well, I haven't in 4 years, that doesn't win me over. I don't then go, well, I'm going to defend this person because this is wrong. I go, no, it sounds like a shitty person got punished for something late, which sucks, right? Like, he should have been punished immediately, and that would be ideal. But we're in StarCraft, and I always get weirded out when people talk about this like it's the real world. Like, if people hacked and then a week later were caught, that would be fucking amazing, or even better the day of. But it doesn't happen that way. We have hackers that hack for years. We don't know until later when they grow up and they're like, yeah, I was hacking. And we're like, fuck you, dude, that sucked. And they're like, yeah, I know, I was young, whatever. Anyways, I'm legit now. And nothing ever happens. So I'm not saying he should be punished for that. I'm saying that because he was, I'm not going to grab a sign and go picket for this guy. I'm not going to be like, show me proof. I need to know. The guy admitted to hacking. He harasses people, and he's a toxic person. I would love for the system to be better. I would love for there to be hardcore proof, and he's punished for that. But we don't exist in that system, and that is my point. Now, go ahead.
Well, you said you disagree with me, but I agree with everything that you just said. What I'm saying is more like the fact that Roddy brings up the hacking incident overall, because this is why he's banned, right? So I think that it needs to be more clear with that.
I agree with that, yeah.
Right. So I think that this is a great opportunity, and it's good for Roddy to have made this video just to get. People wouldn't have talked about it at all, really. Like, they talk about it just a little bit and then it goes away. But Roddy's video kind of keeps it around so we can get it into a situation like this where it's like, we need clear rules. We should know when was he hacking? When was the most recent time? What was this based off of?
Yeah.
Because these should actually be rules that we know. It can't just be arbitrary every time.
And I love
like you're saying, these shit people, ban them, get rid of them. I don't believe any of this shit. Like, you didn't hack since 2015. I personally don't believe it, but I don't have the proof. I want the proof. And
I love, by the way, Kevin, I want to put this out there too. I love that Kevin goes to bat for people like this, even then. Because I would never, because I believe in the legal system as well, which again, we don't have in here, but even people that are shitheads deserve someone standing up for them to iron out the story and to give their side of it. Because I would not like, at the same time, for something like this to just be like, oh no, he's shitty, so he's gone forever, fuck him, whatever. Because if he is trying to clean up his act, which I do believe, by the way, so that was Kevin's point. He's like, when was the last time he was a shitty person to you? I played him 2 or 3 times since then. He's been fine. He's actually been fine. So I can tell this is a young person probably trying to clean up his act. So I'm not sitting here saying I want him gone forever. I agree with what you guys were saying. There should be some kind of bright line. And I also agree with what Dan just said, which is like, I wish Blizzard was more concise about this. And when they say recent, they say it was like 3 weeks ago, and he will be banned this WCS, maybe the next one, and then allowed another chance or something, right? Instead, it's just like he hacked recent, or and we don't know what that means because it actually goes against what he said, which is it was 4 years ago.
Just to touch on a couple of things last time. Like, I do absolutely agree that there should be a code of conduct. And I absolutely feel like the things that you mentioned, and, we saw that screenshot as well. I do want to say that screenshot was posted on Reddit. That was legit of 3 years ago, apparently. But those are not banter words. Like, none of that shit should be coming out of the mouth of any WCS player. And I absolutely believe that those people shouldn't participate. In the past, I have no idea how they always let Firecake. I mean, I'm sorry if he's watching. He went way too far. To me, that's not banter, hoping that family members die or get terrible diseases. None of that shit is banter. Like, just get that out of here. Like, I don't want to see that of any WCS player or any gamer in particular. But I think that this, obviously, once again, it depends on, like, when did it take place. And, do punish someone for it, but be a little bit more clear about the rules. Now, the last thing I want to say as well is that certain people are like, they got angry at me because you asked me about the reaction of the video. A lot of people got angry at me. Because all I said is that I feel like he doesn't map hack against me. I'm not saying that I'll put my hand in the fire and like I'm 1000% sure that he indeed has not done anything bad since 2015. All I said is that he didn't map hack against me, but people got really mad about or at me for that. It's like, that's my experience, it's my opinion, and I play this game a lot. And damn it, there was one more thing as well. Yeah, on top of that, like I did enjoy the interview, and I liked, I could get behind a lot of the things that he said, but obviously, it's a bit hard to believe, and I said this in my video as well, but I think I could have worded that a little bit better, when it comes from you, when it comes from guys like Jason and multiple other people that I all respect very dearly, and I know are genuine good people. It can be a coincidence that there are 6, 7, 8 people that dislike this kid, and he's just like, I don't know why they dislike me. Now, that's not possible, right? Now, clearly you've done a lot of stupid things, but that is okay. Like, to go back, not everybody gets the excuse of like, oh, he was a kid growing up and he'll be better one day. No, like, people should indeed like be justified or be punished for their actions. But on the other hand, like at one point, it should also be enough. If somebody is trying to clean up their act, it is not cool if every ladder game he plays, it's like, hey, piece of shit map hacker, because then somebody will clearly never get out of this, right? Like, what if he's like 100% good guy for a year? If he gets brought up on Reddit or people think it's okay, it's like, fuck you, Roddy, for doing an interview with him. Like, okay, I get people are mad because I did an interview, and they post a screenshot of 3 years ago. I mean, at that point, I feel like it's not fair anymore. Right. At that point, it almost becomes bullying, right? So that was kind of one of the main motivations behind the video as well.
Anything, Maynard or Dan? You guys want to add anything?
I kind of found when you sort of explained your point, Jeff, I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm with you there with the whole like, if you are that kind of person, that kind of behavior, you should be at some point have to pay the price. But I don't know Pure Legacy very well. I've never been high enough level to play against him. The only thing that I do know as a fan, as a community member, that I would have really loved for Blizzard to have actually explained what happened. Just because it would have stopped segments like this. It would have stopped the need for questions to be asked, to just be like, this is not because of recent, it's because this happened on this date, this game.
Yeah.
This is the game in question, or we have the data. And I mean, maybe that's like not something that they can do, maybe not legally. I don't know. Yep. But I would have liked more info just as a community guy.
Like, to go back to what Jeff said, and I think that Jeff said it perfectly there. Like, I think if there is a replay where indeed the data is being looked at, it's not like, oh, he just moved into Fog of War and he found the metafact. But if he would like actually click on something that he shouldn't be able to click on, like, then it's a fact, right? And you cannot deny that. And I think it would be awesome to see something along those lines, because like just suspicious behavior, I think like you can look at anybody in 1,000 replays and there will be a couple of moves and be like, oh, look at him go. It's like, yeah, well, we all have those moments, right? Like when I played Warcraft 3, I used Speed Scroll in the Dark all the time. That's just because I knew where my opponents were going to be based upon my experience. What I personally like, and this is once again, like, I'm not necessarily saying like, this is the proof that he's innocent. What I find weird, and this is like the one last thing I want to say about it, is like, why would he map hack sometimes and not always? Like, why would he play 25 games against me? People say, like, well, because you're a streamer or something. I don't know, but I've seen his games in the WCS qualifiers and convinced that it was legit. I've seen a lot of his games against other streamers, convinced it was legit. Like, obviously, you can't get in the mind of somebody who does cheat, right? Because obviously, I don't have that. But it seems weird to be clean for, let's say, like 3,000 games and then have 10 map hacking games, right? To me, that doesn't make any sense. And that's also one more reason why I'm slightly more towards the side of, I actually think that, he's innocent.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think that you just kind of judging that he's innocent based on the games you played is, it's probably a better thing than people judging that someone hacks off the games they play, because they're going to be wrong more often than you are in this case. But also, I mean, there's sophisticated cheaters exist. We used to have them in Brood War. They'd flick on vision for a millisecond just to check your tech or where your army was. They don't even need to move their screen, right? They can see like that you took a Nexus somewhere and that's it. And then they go ahead and scout it in a normal way. And the thing is, you got to remember as well, if you actually map hack and play StarCraft, you'll improve quicker than people that don't map hack. A lot of people think about this wrong and think that, oh, I'm going to be relying upon that and it's going to make me weaker overall. No, it actually makes you stronger. The best foreigner in StarCraft 1 was Testy, who was a map hacker nonstop for years and years and years and years, and refined himself many times, but kept hacking. And like, it just, you learn all the timings and you really learn. It's like you're watching the replay while you're playing. So people get very good at concealing it. And yeah, I agree. No one plays clean for 3,000 games, then hacks for 10 games. But they can, you know, whether he hacked or not, I don't know. I kind of lean more towards what Jeff says, where I want to ban bad people. But let's get some sort of framework down, because also hackers should be there has to be a way back in. Like, you know, I'm not mad at the people that used to hack like 10 years ago. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you're playing clean now, that's cool. Let's play. Yeah.
There is a lot of this attitude in the community, right? Like, once a hacker, always fucking piece of shit, gone forever, get the fuck out of my community. But it's like, you know, they're going ham on some kids, you know, like a lot of the guys that are still around right now, lovely people within the community, actually have bad pasts, right? But you go back to 2005, 2006, I think of guys that played Brood War and now still play StarCraft 2. It's like, you know, there should be some sort of a system. And obviously StarCraft is not the same as, you know, real life is. But in real life, you don't punish someone forever for something he did when he was 14, 15. So, you know, I do think there should be clearer rules. And there should absolutely be punishment. And it should never be considered like, oh, it's okay. Or somebody said, like, what I learned from your interview is that it's okay to hack unless you get caught. And it's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever read. That's the complete opposite of what I said. But I just think everything should be a little more clear, and there should be rules. That's all.
Yeah, that's where I land on it. I think that if they have the data, like, I know Jeff's probably hit the nail on the head there. Well, actually has hit the nail on the head. Is like every company that's worth their salt with information security knows 100% that a hack or a third-party thing's been used in the game. They have the data. Tell us what game it was, or at least when the game was, so that we know around when it happened, and then we can take all this out of. We can take the whole part of the conversation out and just be like, oh, fair enough. And then there doesn't need to be videos. There doesn't need to be discussion. Whether or not we're punishing a guy for what happened 4 years ago, if we're punishing for something that happened 4 years ago, that's shitty. If we're punishing for something that happened during...
Well, even if we're punishing for something that happened 4 years ago, announce that so that now we know, right?
Just say hacking for suspicious behavior 3 or 4 years ago. But, you know, and that's just like, oh, it's a retroactive ban because he did it back. That's fine.
And also the social behavior, like Jeff said, right? Like, I do absolutely believe that people should get banned, like, not just for cheating, but for things they say. Because certain things that were said in the past by WCS players, that's beyond ridiculous. That makes us all look silly. You know, how can we say that this is a professional environment when there is people out there hoping that family members die, get disease and stuff like that? No, fuck that. Get it out of here, but be clear about it.
Right. So let me put a final Mr. Rogers bow on this, and then we'll move on. I love that we live in a world where, Kevin believes the best in people. I think that's something to be treasured. I do like that if someone doesn't have a voice, good guy Kevin is looking to give them that voice, whether they're guilty or not. I don't ever want to live in a world where just the mob decides someone's bad and we silence them and they're gone forever. I think that's obviously dystopian and terrible. Very concisely, I want to just kind of hopefully convey this, because I saw some people still confused on this. I'm not saying someone should be banned for saying bad things. What I'm saying is we live in a world where we don't know 100%. Like Blizzard in their announcement, it's fucking confusing. They didn't even follow it up. Like, people are crying for like, hey, what do you mean recent? They're like, anyways, moving on. And it like would be really nice to know that. But as a guy that's been around StarCraft for 20 years, this is par for the course. And I have StarCraft in my veins. I'm not saying that hatefully. I'm just saying that's how it's always been. We've been like, hey, this guy. And they're like, let us look into it. And then they just don't get back. And you're like, what do we do? So it's had to be like, you have to have, there's like a StarCraft etiquette. So I'm not saying this guy should be banned and blocked and removed forever because he said nasty shit and been a piece of crap on stream. I'm saying if there's a question, this moves the needle in the direction of, I don't have sympathy for him being banned, even if it was for him being hacked 4 years ago. Whereas if he's a decent, nice person that's trying to do well, then I begin to be like, let's take a closer look. So the moral of that story, please don't be a shithead. Just try to be a nice person. And then if a weird thing like this comes up, maybe people will more go to bat for you. But if you are a former hacker, if you are a piece of shit, and you're trying to reform, which I do believe Pure Legacy is, then take your lumps, like he has been, by the way. I thought he's been doing a pretty good job of that. And let's not go down line by line, but for the most part, he said, we found out he qualified legally, he wants to try again. Hopefully that gets flushed out, and I hope people give a guy a chance to reform. Sure, he's going to be made fun of for the rest of his StarCraft career, but I do. There has to be reform. You have to. I mean, it's a game, for fuck's sakes, okay? And 4 years ago, if someone's being a piece of shit, we need to come to a place where we're like, okay, let's give this guy a chance. If he hacks again, fuck him, get him out of here. But
of course, I mean, even if he lied about this, right? Like, I don't even think it's anymore up to the point where if he does something bad in the future, let's say there is like a clear evidence, like, bam, January 2019, these 10 games on this account played from his computer, he hacked. I mean, then he's made a fool of himself because I gave him all the opportunity in the world to speak, and he went over it again and again. Also in DMs to me, he's like, no, he's like, impossible. He's like, I promise. He's like, I'm sure. And yeah, if you take his word or not, obviously everybody's right, has their right to, believe him or not, and that's okay. But he has had all the opportunity in the world. So if he now has lied about it, I mean, then obviously you can't think forever.
And that's actually kind of a cool thing about Kevin's interview, by the way, because if it's just Reddit posts, it's one thing. But when a guy sits down and is like, tell me the truth, what's happening, that is the paper trail. Because again, if Blizzard's like, by the way, when we said recent, we did mean 2015, then we can all be like, Blizzard, and then, come to grips with that. But if they're like, no, it was January, then it's like, okay, get this kid out of here. Yeah. He's trash. Yeah. But we don't have that unless Adrian, if you're listening, or somebody like if you'd like to clarify, this kid, he's good. He wants to try and qualify for WCS, which is the pro game scene. But until then,
I do think it was cool of Blizzard to at least specify that they said he didn't cheat in the qualifiers, because there's a lot of people who immediately jump that gun because they don't even read. I mean, we know how the internet is. They don't read. They're like, oh, cheated, WCS map, I cheated in WCS. It's like, no, Blizzard actually specifically said that they feel like he played fair in the qualifiers, but there's more to the story.
Just to put a nail in the head, Kevin, you said people on the internet. Dipped in sauce in the chat. Who are they talking about? Literally on screen. Roddy's interview with Pure Legacy. This is a moment of abject horror for me every day, where I'm like I have on my stream is Barristan's name, and someone will be like, they'll like, where's Barristani? And they'll spell it completely wrong, and I'm like, oh my god, why do I do anything? Why is anything on the screen at all?
I mean, Jeff, my stream has said on LA for the last 5 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I always watch Roddy.
Oh, my God.
Where's Roddy right now? Where is
Who are they talking? Is it an interview with Jeremiah? And they're like, oh.
Did he move, Roddy?
How did you get here? How did you get to the computer? Who bought you the... anyways, okay. Oh, my God.
Chair. I have people asking if I travel with my chair. It's like, yeah. I bring
Kevin through the airport, like, excuse me. On the plane. Anyways, all right. So I think we got clips of the week here from Cobra, and there's some good ones, if I'm not mistaken. Want to take it away, Cobra?
That is correct. Here we go.
Cobra with his best strip club DJ voice, by the way. That's my favorite. All right. First clip here is going to be some links surrounding a Nexus.
I got a new microphone for a studio, so that's why I'm doing it. This one is from Liquid Snoot.
All right.
Liquid Snoot.
Welcome to the stage,
please. Exactly right.
Oh my
god. Oh no. Not like this.
No.
Oh.
Oh. Something has to be.
I love me some good burrowed band. Wait.
You guys missed it because you were laughing. I'll play it again for you. Right there. See right there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, it is a lot. Okay.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Yeah. All right, that was Liquid Snoot. Nicely done.
Everyone put hands together. Liquid Snoot.
Please welcome to the stage, Nero.
I have to apologize for this one because this one might be a little bit of
good tonight.
A special act by Nero.
Sorry, Cobra. A tasty fungal.
Tell me it's this.
Fungal corrosive. Must be, right? Fungal and corrosive bar? Don't tell me
it doesn't change.
It's just the fungal.
Phoenix.
It's just
the fungal Phoenix.
Hey, Protoss, what about sending 2 to the north and 2 to the south?
He's a Protoss player. Don't overtax him.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Okay, this is a bad clip.
That was it.
I'm sorry, but that Protoss legitimately had 12 seconds to spread out his fucking Phoenix, okay?
I was hoping he was going to turn around and kill all the infestors. I was like, oh, I'm ready for that.
All right, thanks a lot, Neuro. We got Jason coming to the stage. Jason.
Jason's room, by the way, does look like he is in the strip
Yeah,
club.
Jason is in a strip club, streaming from a strip
He's
club.
a handsome boy. He could do a strip.
Absolutely.
Jason kind of has that voice as well.
He does.
TVP.
Oh, that's me.
We have the same mic right now, so.
Oh, Jeff!
Oh no, Jeffrey, what happened?
Dude, my warp prism. Are you a Jedi? I forgot that was me.
I didn't realize it was you until you typed. We talk about how
He fucking hits me for one shot with the Viking, and then the Widowmine kills the warp prism, and look where it is.
Now that's a good clip.
Damn.
I GG'd though. Okay, chat, check that out. All right.
1 or 2?
Two Gs.
Two.
Double. Yeah, no salt there. I mean, I was salty in real life, but
How many times a day do you play Jason? Because I get him a lot.
I lost like 300 points in my MMR. It's been a bad couple days, so only a couple times. What happens is I play 7 games against 4.7k MMR guys, and then I'll hit Jason, and then it's fucking Jon Snow, and I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm not like the ladder to them must be a guy climbing to the top, jumping off of it to the bottom, and then just teleporting to the top and jumping off again.
I had Jon Snow yesterday. I was like so ready to get my in control moment, but I got murdered in 4 minutes.
He's very good.
It feels bad.
All right, what's this?
This one is Andrew Yang's favorite game, but I like to think of this as actually a glimpse into the future of what Artosis would look like in 50 years.
This guy's running for president, by the way.
A lot as a kid. I did do that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
My favorite video game was StarCraft. And I do not still play because I'm slow and I have kids.
Oh, that's Dan.
But I'll never stop, whether I become president or not.
Yeah. That's why you're the people's hero, Dan. The best of Nero. Clip submitted by Cobra to a show that he produces by Cobra.
This is actually a collaboration project between Cobra X and myself.
What? There's another Cobra?
Is that just your other ID?
Nope. That's actually a different individual.
Oh my god. The Cobras are spreading. Can we see some fungal clips? Because that was pretty sick.
In anything. Be it picnic baskets,
Oop.
waffles,
King Cobra. That's fine.
or other forms of science. I welcome you. This is my stream. We do things here. We say words. And we build each other up to be fantastic people, or at least less bad. Or slightly less bad than yesterday. If someone is sad, you cheer them up. If someone achieves something, you say, good job, dude. If someone is bragging and being really obnoxious, they just really need attention. They really need attention.
What is the skill ceiling of StarCraft compared to Hearthstone on a scale from 1 to 10? It's a different skill set. There are no mechanics in Hearthstone. So you can take your time. Take it easy. Think about your moves. StarCraft is like... it's stressful. Teach you a meditation. This is a very simple meditation. I will show you now. What you do is you go to the versus area.
We're not watching 12 minutes, chat, don't worry.
You've got options. You select the race that you're going to play on the ladder. And then you think and say to yourself, we who are about to make mistakes, stupid decisions, misclicks, and be supply blocked, salute you. For I'm about to enter into a ranked game, and I would like to forgive myself for my stupidity, inadequacy, and imperfection. Because I want to train, I want to practice, and I want to have fun playing a video game. So I will push this button, despite being imperfect.
Okay. You guys familiar with the Far Side comics?
Yes. Yeah.
I think
It felt a bit like that.
when you read a Far Side comic, you can look at it very simply and laugh your ass off. But if you ever had someone be like, dude, I saw this Far Side comic, and then they try to explain a Far Side comic to you, I feel like that's a Neuro compilation. Like, if you watch his stream and see him ebb and flow in insanity, you can get it. It's really funny. But when you just get a clip of him, like, mumbling quietly to himself about what you're going to do and what you can expect in a game, I feel like I need 1 hour on either side of what he's saying to even come close to appreciating what he's doing. Like,
now, speaking of Far Side comics, there's this one where there's all these penguins, and there's one penguin, and he's sitting on a piano. He's just singing,
Sure enough.
I Just Gotta Be Me. It's a great one.
It's a great
Far Side comic.
And there's a banana
My
in the
favorite
second
one.
panel. Yeah, exactly. And the banana's like on the floor. I love Neuro, though. He's probably in the chat hating us right now. But Neuro, we love you.
The full 13 minutes is available on Neuro's YouTube if you wish to find it.
There you go. Is it just Neuro on YouTube?
Neurozerg.
Neurozerg on YouTube. If you guys want to check out the whole thing. Produced by Cobra_X and Cobra Venom. Now that is a story for another Pylon show. We're going to dive into the Cobra clan and what's happening there.
There are enough
it's
Cobras
a pit,
out there.
actually. It's a Cobra pit.
It's a Cobra pit, sorry.
Yeah.
Very well. Okay. So last, is this just, you have the WCS
This is
numbers?
the update stuff for WCS, GSL, ASL,
There you
etc.
go. Okay, so guys, you can look at that on screen. We talked about all this, but you can see those schedules. Get out and go see a GSL. Nick and Dan are awesome, and GSL is really cool. Go see GSL versus the World. It was an incredible event last year. I think Maynard and Roddy were there, witnessing
it was a real
Serral
privilege.
history. And Korean
That was
barbecue's
fun.
amazing. Korean barbecue's so good. My God. Just go do it. Yeah, so there's all that stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the GSL. We had some pretty shocking results, and we got a great final coming up here, Dan.
Yeah. Luckily Dark made it to that finals. Trap ending up beating Classic. That was really surprising, I think, because if you watch that, I bet a lot of people even turned the stream off because it was 3-1 for Classic, and it looked like it should have been 4-0 by that point. Like, Classic was just playing so much better than Trap, and then Trap just clutched out and brought it back, and Classic by the end, I think, actually mentally fell apart a little bit, which you don't see from him very often. But like game 7, he like tried to make stuff happen when he didn't need to, and like threw the game basically. And it was surprising, but that means that we have Trap in the finals, right? Which I feel kind of bad for Classic because he's been top 2 Protoss in the world for 2 years now, and he's like getting so close all the time and not quite picking up the huge tournament wins. I mean, I guess Super Tournament is obviously good, but anyways, Trap being in the finals is
yeah. Sorry. That was actually my favorite day of the GSL, the entire season. I thought that PvP series was really, really fun. There's always people out there that'll be like, I don't want to watch that. I don't like PvP. In my opinion, by far and away, the best series of this GSL season. I really loved it.
It was the best PvP I've seen this year, for sure. It was really, really good. So
I agree.
Dark Hurricane, on the other hand, was not. It seemed like Hurricane.
No,
Dark Hurricane was. Oof.
I had to tweet about that. It was so bad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was
What'd
just
you
terrible.
tweet?
Oh, it was, like when I stay up for the GSL, it's a special, like, kind of hard thing for me to do. I was like, let's, I want to do this for the Pylon show. I'll be ready to go, and it was just like a shit fest. And I was like, well, we can't talk about that, other than it was just bad.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say. Dark just kind of mauled him. Dark played very aggressively, and Hurricane, it wasn't his best games. Like, he has PVZs sometimes where you look at it and you're like, damn, he is one of the best. And then
Definitely better than that.
Yeah, he's better than what he showed.
Yeah.
It is nice to have a Korean
forced
Zerg
mistakes
beating
too.
Protosses, though. I will say that, because it did seem like they just simply could not for a long time.
Mhm.
And it's not that this disproves that before there's a bunch of people getting really upset, but I think everyone's cheering for Dark, which gets me a little bit nervous, because if everyone's kind of one-sided, the GSL tends to have that, like, is that the story you wanted? Well, it's the other one. And then, but the good thing here is if Trap wins, that's kind of crazy by itself too, right? He's been insanely talented for a long time, and to get this result would be a big deal. It's just too bad that he plays Protoss, because I think nobody will talk about Trap.
Look at his run as well, though. Like, if Trap gets it done, Inno in the quarters, Classic in the semis, Dark in the final, there is no one in his right mind that should say he doesn't deserve it. Because if you don't deserve it after beating those three in the playoffs, then you're just stupid, right? Like, he absolutely does. I personally think the real story here is how this entire season, this has been 5 weeks of Protoss wine, because Protoss has been crushing it in the GSL. So there's definitely a side of me, and it's a very big voice inside of me that says, please let Dark win it. So these 5 weeks of non-stop PvP, Protoss wine, Protoss, Zerg ends up winning the GSL, and the last Protoss victory is still 3 years ago. Like, that's all I want.
I can't remember who it was, but we've been here before where the top 8 was like 7 Protoss and 1 Terran, I think it was.
Yeah, it was the last super tournament, and Gumio made it to the finals.
Big stats 3-0.
Okay, that's more recent than what I'm thinking of. There was one a couple years ago, but it was funny because we were all just hating on Protoss, and then the 1 Terran just clobbered everybody and won, and everyone's like, "Yeah, but you can't use that as an example." It's just funny. It ends up, but that works out, right? Like, a lot of times when you look at this top 8, the Protosses probably practice for. I mean, they practice for their immediate matchup, but then they probably secondarily worked on like PvP and stuff like that because they just thought the Protoss would win everything, and then, boop, surprise. But that's taking place this Friday, so check it out. And then, as always, we have some Brood War action happening here as well.
Yeah, and just about the Codes, tickets went on sale. I believe that they're already sold out, but we are selling some tickets. I believe 100 total at the venue. Day of, like 40 standing room, 60 sitting, I believe is it. And then even if you show up and all the tickets are sold out, we rent out something on B1 because our studio's on floor 2 of the building. And then on B1, we rent out like a big conference room and put it on in there as well. So if you want to come down, definitely can. So yeah, the KSL, we finished that up. And that finals was Rain versus Mini. Rain clobbered Mini, kind of as expected. The amount that Rain is the best Protoss in the world, like, is absolute madness right now. He is like bringing the Protoss race to new levels. Like his PvP win rate is so astronomical and out of control. He knows what to do. Even in situations where you'd normally say he's behind, he wins. I talked about this already when we were talking about it, how I thought he would kill everyone, and then he did, and he's ridiculous, and it's starting to come out a lot because he's a streamer and stuff. He doesn't really, because this is the Rain from StarCraft 2, right? Which is the great defensive Protoss. This kid is unbelievably smart and talented, and apparently, what everyone's been telling me now is he doesn't actually practice all that much. What he does is he just analyzes stuff all the time. Like, he just kind of looks and watches games and thinks about it and figures out what to do, and then sits down with his 400 APM and smashes everybody. So it's a good time. And the KSL's over, which means we're starting ASL. We just had the ASL qualifiers this last weekend. Obviously, Rain will be playing in ASL. We'll see if he can take it down. This ASL should be the best ASL we've ever had. Because when you look at the actual player list for it, Flash and Jadong both decided to play and both qualified on their first tries, obviously. And they haven't been playing many tournaments lately. They both have some wrist issues, and they both are going to military relatively soon. So it could be their last pro tournament for years. But not just that, like basically Sulky last and best, or Sulky last and Rain are so ridiculously good right now. So to have Flash and Jadong and Stork all in good shape playing in the same tournament as those three is amazing. And not just that, we've changed the format of ASL. So the group stages now will be best of 1 for the first match, and then all decider matches will be best of 3. So when you put all of that together, it's a ridiculous tournament. It is just going to be awesome.
Very cool. And that's coming up June 30th.
No, that looks really fun, actually.
That's right. Yeah. And it's like our race distribution's really good. We had some upsets. We had some amateurs qualifying. It's going to be such a good season. I'm giddy with excitement to see like who's actually going to come out on top. Like, are the new guns actually going to be able to stop Flash Jaedong Stork? Because all those guys are in ridiculous shape right now. So to have three of the top 4 of all time that are like really good. Well, Jaedong is slightly questionable, but we'll see exactly how well he performs. He normally performs in tournaments like this. And then, you know, the new trio of Sulky, Rain, and Last. It's like, oh my God, what a good time.
I've grown into a bit of an Action fan. I want to see how Action does.
Oh, yeah. No. He killed it on the very first qualifier. Just smashed right through. Yeah.
I like how Saxcree is in that tournament as well. It's like you recognize all these old StarCraft 2 names. How is he? Is he any good?
Saxcree is, I'm getting chills that you brought him up. He's in great shape right now. We have something called KCM Survival Match, which is Terrans on one team, Zergs on another, Protoss on another. Saxcree just killed like Flash, Last, and Mong or something, like right in a row in that. So like he's in very good shape as well. Also Soma, who goes by Fake Jaedong sometimes as his other ID. He won the ACS, the amateur tournament, and is in this. And recently he was like playing Flash in the sponsored bet games, the spawn games that we call them out here, and just smashing. Like I didn't get to see this live, but apparently Flash was like, sponsor another match, I'm gonna get him. Like, and he was beating him, which is, it's so rare to see anyone be able to beat Flash anytime that he's trying. So yeah, it's just it's a wild season.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right. That does it for those things. I think we move on to the question segment of the Pylon Show.
I believe so.
Just waiting for one of the Cobras to...
Do you want to mention the Africa TV Challenger Star League or not?
Yeah, we can message. Thank you.
Thank you, Cobra. We can also check out the...
That's right.
Hang on, Dan. I got this. Put your hands together for the Africa TV Challenger Star League. We got Soma taking on Olympus in a 2-1 victory. You can see here below, Dan and what looks to be Tarzan were actually in attendance. Able to check it out.
Yeah.
So glad I got a new bike, guys. It was worth every...
Rounding out the round of 4. Put your hands together for this random match.
All right.
Yeah, so just I guess I mentioned just slightly in the other one, the ACS is if you haven't reached the round of 16 in a pro tournament, you can play in it. The amateurs are all kind of pros, like they're pro level. Soma, that I mentioned, has been doing well against Flash even. He's like the best ZVT player in the world right now. Ended up winning over Olympus, Protoss player, and last ACS champion, Bill made top 4, and I believe it was Zealot in the top 4 as well. But yeah, we'll be seeing Soma and Zealot both qualified. Both the Zerg players made it into ASL, so we'll see them move forward.
Thank you, guys. And that is all the Brood War news that we could possibly muster. So let's get to these really important questions that have been burning people's bonnets for a while now. First one is from Foot4264. He says, what is the best compliment that you have gotten as a player or a caster that helps keep you going?
I don't really think about the compliments to keep me going. They don't keep me going.
Do you think about the hate?
It's a weird... I can't hear you over my dog. Sorry, say again.
Is it the hate that keeps you going?
The hate that keeps me going. Yeah, I run on pure hatred, man. That's me. No, I don't know. I've had some good one recently that I can think of. That they just like people just show up into the chat that I've never seen before in my whole life, and they're just like, "Hey, man, don't usually catch you live, but just wanted to say you're a great commentator." Just the most vanilla stuff like that. You're a great commentator. Keep you up. We're lucky to have you. I'm like, damn, that's awesome. Yeah. That puts me in a good mood for a solid 30 seconds until the immortal all-in comes.
Yeah.
I think, Jeff, not to get confused with the BMW story here, but the comments that I really enjoy is when, you know, out of nowhere you get like a tier 3 subscription or like $100 donation of someone who's like, hey man, I've been like watching you for years while I'm studying, and I just graduated, and I just got my engineering degree or something along this line. He's like, I'm happy to finally pay you back for all the years of entertainment or stuff like that. I think that's really cool. It feels like I've been part of their journey, and I've been there all the time while they've been studying, and then they give you some nice words. I really like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the heartfelt stuff really sticks. It's good.
Did we tell the BMW story on the Pylon show?
I don't know if I told it, but it was during my birthday stream. That's all I remember.
One of my favorite. I watched Kevin a lot. It's probably the stream I watched the most. But I watch all these guys. But I was in there, and Kevin and I often have a little bit of a chuckle because sometimes there's a little bit more honesty that like a European viewer will give more. I mean, that's not to say Americans aren't weird. They're weird, okay? They are. But you could tell right away, and this guy kind of said it, but he donates $5 to Kevin. He's like, Kevin, life's been good, man. I just got a promotion. I'm driving a BMW now, and I just wanted you to know that I like your stream, and here's $5. We just had the biggest kick out of that because the guy's just like, I'm driving a BMW, bro, and I made it. So here's $5. It was amazing.
Glad you could scrape that together.
Oh, it was good. And then I felt bad because I was laughing, and the guy's like, "What? No, I can." It is, anyways. It's just nice and funny. But what about the rest of you, Dan? There's only been a couple compliments, I guess. So if you can,
yeah, not too many. No. But no. Well, I guess for commentary, occasionally I'll have someone message me, normally privately, and just mention that they were like depressed and like GSL helped them out or something, and listen to banter and jokes and stuff. So that's really, really heartwarming when I hear something like that. I don't expect the commentary to do that, but that's really nice. As a player, occasionally, not as recently in StarCraft 2, but I've been playing a lot of Brood War. If a pro says something nice about my play, then it will feel really good. I've had a few of the Korean Terran pros watch me at the qualifiers and say some nice words about my skill, and that, warms my heart and makes me, even though I'm like losing and bombing out of qualifiers to pros all the time, like, oh yeah, I guess I'm kind of good.
As a player, it's really hard to get a compliment from the fans. I feel like it's almost never good enough. Like you beat somebody, it's like, well, beat somebody better. You're high ranked on NA, it's like NA is a joke. And like I think from fans, you rarely. There's obviously people that are like, hey man, I just want to say I'm proud of your progress, and they'll actually keep track and they'll know what's going on. But it doesn't happen too often. But I'm with Dan. It does feel really good when one of the pros says, like, yeah, actually that one build or that one style you do, that's actually really good. Or I can see it work, or I use something similar. Like that kind of stuff always makes my gives me the giggles. I'm like, ooh, yeah, still got it, baby.
I think it's because it's from someone that might be better than you, or that you respect. Like when I was playing that caster tournament, the first one, Hearthstone said a couple nice things on the stream about how I played and messaged me, and I was like, oh, that really feels very good to hear, because I think Hearthstone's a great Protoss, right? So
yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, I just like the ones where people say my fandom of stuff helped them get into something. I had a lot of people be like, I started Warhammer because of how much you talk about it and stuff like that. It's always, for whatever reason, it always really lifts me up. But the scene's great. Thank you guys. Hydro033. I appreciate all of you and all that you do as community members and casters. In light of recent threads, do positive comments help wash out the negativity? Do they help you psychologically? I feel like I could have done a better job giving all of you positive feedback over the years.
Oh, that's already a very sweet message.
That's already very nice.
Very nice. Yes, saying nice things does help us out.
Yeah, people really underestimate it, but there are some out, like we all stream a lot. And obviously, more often than not, streams are a fun, cool place. But like over the last few weeks, twice I had just an hour where I look at my chat and I'm like, what is this chat? What is going on? And why is just literally nobody nice about anything? Not to me, not about my opponents, not about the game or the state of the game. And like, it's so nice to just see a random comment in there and be like, hey man, I just want to say you guys did a great job at Challenger, or actually really enjoyed the games this morning, got me through, I had a shitty morning, but your stream cheered me up. Like these small things, they do actually really matter. And there's always people that think, oh, it's corny, it's cheesy, but you have no idea how often chat just derails for an hour and you read it and you're like, what is actually going on right now? So nice comments always help.
Yeah, I think that's universal. I'm a monkey ass. Thanks for providing such awesome content. Pick another community member, pro or caster, if they were a unit in the game. What would their dialogue be if they were repeatedly selected?
Okay, how about if Sarah was in the game, he'd be like, "It's nice, it's nice." All right.
Good job.
Thanks.
This is where I expect you to do a Benjamin Baker, Jeff. Like
that would be incredible. Yeah, can you imagine like a Benjamin Baker ghost that you just like has like 35 lines, but as you're moving, he's like, "All right, it's a long ways. Yes, of course. Yes.
This is going to be a good nuke for us, team.
This is a good nuke. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! All right, all right. Let's check out the replay. Check out the replay.
What would Hero Marine say though? Yeah, it's not really necessary. That's a bad move. That's a bad move.
Be like a Thor. It'd be a Thor, and you're like,
I was watching him a little bit yesterday. Just be like, it seems bad, but okay. Like when you tell him to go do something.
I don't agree, but whatever.
I don't agree. This is hard for Terran, but okay.
I'll show you why it's a bad move. Okay.
Yeah, I loved your stream. It was a good time.
Make the Thor
or like
walk
an
sound.
in-control red eye unit. I'm literally selected.
You've made the right choice.
Selected and erected, ready to go.
Zesty, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many motherships should you let the Zerg player neural parasite before you stop making them? As a side note, how does that even work? There's got to be more than one dude flying that thing. How does the neural control every single person on a ship? Carrier/BC at once. Well, so the way it works, and this is not a lot of people think about this, but the neural parasite it's a ground-based attack, so it punctures the outer hull of the ship and then rectally inserts itself into the kind of admiral figure. So in the battle cruiser, it goes right through his rectum. With the mothership, you'll notice it is a female pilot. Things get tricky there. It can actually enter in a couple of different ways, but we're not going to go into detail. From there, it takes control of just the singular pilot-like figure, and then it allows it to go off and die. There you go.
On a scale of 1 to 10, though, Jeff, how many motherships? That's the weird part of this question. Is like on a scale of 1, it's not asking how many motherships. On a scale of 1 to 10, how many motherships?
I know what he's trying to ask, which is how many should you make? And there are certain Protoss players that the answer is infinity. You just kind of keep making them because they cannot have that many neural parasites, right? That's the hope.
Well, I mean, by the time you lose one, then the other one should definitely have some. You know, honestly, the way that I see the mothership in the matchup, and I know that a lot of the pros disagree with me, and I think that's totally fine. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. I think if you can ever get a mothership out while you're playing like Archon, Immortal, Storm, and you're going up against the Hydra, Viper, whatever army, I think they're really good, right? Like you can cloak your Immortals, your Archons, and it's obviously very tanky as well. But if it reaches the phase in the game where it's like the wall was spore crawlers and the unlimited amount of infestors, pointless. At that point, in my opinion, it's totally, totally pointless. And I really don't see the use of it. But that's just me.
I can't believe you tried to make a serious question of that, but thank you.
Yeah.
Guildlin, with canceling last week's show, did it give you guys enough time to grieve Classic losing to Trap? At what step of the grieving process were you in when you decided to postpone the show? And what step are you at now?
Acceptance.
I'm pretty at peace with Classic losing. Yeah.
Step 5.
I like Trap.
Didn't care.
And I think if it was Classic versus Dark, Dark would be dead. So.
No, Dark is never dead.
Against Classic right now?
Dark is never dead.
Never dead. Except for against Zero, right?
That hasn't gone too well, but he still wants more. That's what I love about him.
Yeah.
He wakes up every morning and he looks at a picture of Sarah and he's like, I'm coming for you.
Creighton Olsen, Classic, Leanock effort. This week alone, this is June 13th. Actually, that's this week. We lost some huge names to Korea's mandatory military service. It's great to see these men serving their duty to country. But have we ever seen a StarCraft player come back after their service and succeed competitively? Is this likely goodbye forever?
Define succeed competitively. Because I cast Lima League every week. Fantasy's always in there, and he does pretty well against some huge pros. He's not winning tournaments, but
he's not winning.
I guess
the
that's
Star
what
League, so he's shit, right?
So Well, you can look in, like, the Brood War players are on average a little bit older, and there are some people that are out of military that are doing very well. So there's definitely that. Yeah, people are starting to come back and do well. And like, we have some StarCraft 2 pros like Fantasy. We had a few others try so far that have come back.
Can you think of any StarCraft 2, like, I don't know, Terran player that used to win big tournaments but then came back from the military and is trying to do well?
I have heard there's a new streamer.
There's a few that have tried. MMA hasn't done it.
I can't think of anybody. The name eludes me. I don't know.
Yeah, some guy streams Terran right over me. Gets a lot of viewers.
Who is that?
He hasn't streamed in over a week though.
Like, is that Juggernaut Jason?
He has the flu, but
he hasn't succeeded yet, though, right? Polt is
Chat, who you guys thinking about, chat? Is it MMA? Oh, it is. Yeah, that's right. No,
we're talking about MMA.
Hey, Tasia was really good, by the way, at Home Circuit Cup, and it's sad that he hasn't been able to continue it.
Tasia, that's who we're talking about. Yeah, Tasia's done really well. God, I can't think of any others though. Who would it be? I'll tell you what, chat, if you can come up with this guy, we'll invite him on the Pylon Show and do a really in-depth interview with him and ask him all kinds of questions. But until I see that name, I will not even consider it. Okay?
And next week, the Cobra X and Cobra Venom collaboration will be about history.
Yes. 70 minutes, by the way. You thought 13 minutes was good. Wait till it's 70 minutes. All right, we'll look for that. Red Gunner Guy. Abyssal Reef is considered by some to be the best map ever. Do you think this is true? And why was the map considered so good? Is it the best map ever?
I disagree. Best map ever.
For when it existed, I think it was the best map, and it went through. Yeah, no, I think it was the best map for the playtime that it was out. It gave really great games. Thing is, eventually the games devolved into turtling on like 4 to 5 bases and just mass air. So eventually it became bad by the end. But for the beginning and middle of Abyssal Reef's lifetime, I think it was the best map. Like the base layouts were very interesting. You could expand in different directions. There was a lot of different styles of plays. It was, I think, for a period, it was the best map.
Do you know what's happening, by the way? I finally diagnosed this. It's bothered me for a while. Dan has commentated with Tasteless for like 20 years. So a really bad question will get asked, and Dan's brain, the way it processes, is he'll break it down into a decent question. The guy's asking if it's the best map ever. Obviously, the answer's no. That's a fucking stupid question. But Dan's like, hang on. Let me chuck a life raft out here. And is it the best map? He's like, he doesn't even say no. He just says, for the time that it was out, amongst the other maps that people were playing at that time, I think you could consider it maybe the best map at that time for like the 3 weeks or a month that it's like, what the fuck are you like? That's what sitting next to Nick does to you for 20 years, where he's like,
hey, Dan, I ate a cheese quesadilla and it dripped on my dick, and I don't even know what to do about it.
And Dan will be like, dripping is actually something that can happen when you're not paying attention. And in StarCraft, if you're focusing on the minimap too much, you'll get drippage and miss out on the action happening on the screen.
Dan, that's a great point. Have you checked out my podcast? I'm interviewing a guy who played fighting games in Korea and has 134 Twitter followers this next week. You should check it out.
And we're like, what the fuck is happening? You're amazing. You're a gem. I want you to know that. You're a special human being. Red Gunner Guy, Dan saved you. God. All right, Skogler asks, you have to pick a unit unique to StarCraft 2 and put it into Brood War. What unit do you pick and why?
Ooh.
Dan?
I would never touch the sacred game of StarCraft Brood War. I won't do it. This is the question I won't answer, Jeff.
Wow.
You can't add shit to Brood War. The beauty of the game is that nothing gets added. We just change the maps. That's it.
What about the Colossus? Can you put the Colossus in?
Colossus would get. My God. Ugh. That would be so disgusting. The more oh my God, don't even. Ooh.
I know this does break my brain though. It's like anything you add.
Can you imagine that? Just walking over the goons. I'm like, oh my God, the amount of damage coming in is insane. My vultures just all explode. The game's over. Super sick.
Maybe the Raven. I don't know. something like a spellcaster type of thing, or an
God,
oracle.
science vessel Raven composition.
I never even think about bringing things from StarCraft 2 to Brood War, and whenever someone asks a question, it's usually the other way around.
Like, how would a sentry do? Would a sentry?
Jesus Christ!
The force field in Brood War would be like this big, man. For the sentry force field would be massive.
Yeah. You're like, I don't
one
know.
force field would ruin the game. One, you get one for the whole game. Ruin it. The game would be broken. Can't play it anymore.
Okay.
Ugh. Why would you do that?
You imagine that? The quickest recall, and you bring in your 1 sentry and force field the ramp? Fuck you. Get out of the game, Terran player.
Fuck you, he says.
Fuck you, get out.
And he, of course, the Terran player. Wild. If a human civilian really has 10 hit points, as discussed in a previous episode, then a probe taser could kill a person in 2 hits. How fucked up is that?
Pretty fucked up, man. Next question.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Maynard.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked up, man. Yeah, I don't know. Aaron McLeod. I have to read this as it's written. As a caster, when you watch traditional sports broadcasts, do you take ideas from the broadcast to your own performance and how to talk about the game? Actually, that was without a question mark. So let me do it again.
Yeah, it's more like talk about the game.
As a caster, when you watch traditional sports broadcasts, do you take ideas from the broadcast to your own performance and how to talk about the game? Also, do you think esports can learn a lot from sports interviews, production, etc.? Wow, something just broke. Or, excuse me, or should we really find our own way? Thanks!
I think I understand the question.
Okay. Yeah, no, actually, I don't think it's that bad of a question.
No, it's,
when I watch certain like sports broadcasts of certain events, I do think it's kind of cool to compare it a little bit to what we do. I wouldn't necessarily say that I look at one guy and be like, okay, he's really smart and I'm going to try to be like him. But it is fun to draw the comparison. And one thing that I think is kind of fun is that, like, in Dutch TV, I think people in general is very straightforward. And there are multiple hosts that always whine about how long their days are. They whine about how long you should. They're like, twice a week we're on for 2.5 hours. How the hell are we supposed to talk about football for that long? And I'm like, oh my God, these guys are getting like €500,000 a year. And they whine about talking about football 4 hours a week. Like, they should do a Day of Home Story Cup, you know? But they actually know what's up. But I understand the question. I wouldn't necessarily say that I try to copy things, but I do find it fun to compare it and see how they do things.
I like looking at other esports casters because I think it's a different beast. But there are some traditional sports casters that I'm a fan of, but I never try to be like them, I guess, because they're like they're very much like ex players and that sort of thing, which I'm not, so I can't take anything out of it. It's just like I like looking at how they talk to their co-casters and panels and things like that, and taking that into my stuff. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, you don't look at a professional sports caster, commentator, whatever the hell they are, and be like, I'm going to emulate that entirely. But you can see things like how they carry themselves, their voice inflection, their style of co-commentary.
It's good hosting practice if you want to host something, like some really good hosts in sports.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I do like the spirit of the question where it's trying to get at, because that's like one of the age-old esports things. Is like, how do we make esports into professional sports? I think the honest answer is you don't. No. There's definitely like the level of comment, like the way you want to convey excitement and conduct a match, sure. But there's a lot of stuff, you guys, that it's interesting, and I've watched over the years as some people try it. Some esports commentators can pull off silence really well, but I think that's a really tough thing. Whereas in professional sports, it happens all the time, especially for me. I watch mostly like American football. The commentators are not saying everything that's happening all the time, and nor should they. But there's other reasons why that's happening. It's because you can hear the crowd roaring. You can hear the players. Like, how many times do we hear like Omaha from, Peyton Manning and shit like that? And then there's like all this information all over the screen. So it always like triggers me when a esports commentator is like, why won't they stop talking? When I watch football, sometimes you don't talk all the time. It's like, because in esports, it'd be really fucking weird if there's like a battle about to take place and they're like, and we get our fucking strip club DJ voice on. We're like,
They're lining up for a big old scrum in the middle of this one. Take it away.
And then they just like quiet, silence. And then oftentimes our studio broadcasts like literally have 17 people in there, so they're like,
thank you to the audience over there getting excited about that. I think that's that kid's mom.
Anyways, it's like it's different. So you need Maynard fucking going ham on that shit and yelling, and you need the cool analysis breakdown of Roddy, who's got the professional experience, stuff like that. So that's not to say that you can't improve on that, but I don't think you should break away from that and emulate professional sports entirely, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think, though, that a lot can be learned by studying it, not necessarily on style, but you always pick things up. Like you can, that's the closest discipline to this one. You can really like look at things that are somewhat related to the things that you're interested in and learn a hell of a lot from them, especially because it's been around for so long. So there's definitely a lot that can be learned, but yeah, it needs to be done in its own way. You shouldn't just import. I think if you put a couple of basketball casters into StarCraft, even if they knew the game, their style might not fit. I don't know for sure, but yeah, but definitely a lot can be learned.
The archetypes are pretty funny though. The few times there have been big events in StarCraft's history, at least, where they like bring in Shaquille O'Neal or some of these like other celebrities. The kind of funny thing that a mainstream celebrity falls into when they're commentating games is to kind of hate on it a little bit. Not like explicitly be like, this is the stupidest thing ever, but kind of talk about it from a funny perspective of like, look what they're doing. This is a, oh wow, that seems like a cool move. And it's like, that's the angle they always take. So maybe this question get flipped on its head. What can professional commentators take from the motherfucking mole traps of the universe? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say.
Mix it up, sports.
That's what I'm trying to say.
They're struggling over there. Are they growing an industry?
Are they growing? Baseball
so.
can't even sell it at stadiums anymore. Maybe they need Nick and Dan sitting in there talking about Battletoads and shit. All right. Alessander asks, I know Roddy speaks 4 languages, so not naming names, what language or casting style do you all like when watching StarCraft tournaments? I feel that as casters yourselves, you might listen differently than a typical fan might. Should there be more sexy strip club DJ voice casting at Home Story Cup?
I'd do it.
Kevin, do you speak 4 fucking languages?
No, not at all. I would say 2.5 to be.
No, you speak Dutch. You speak a lot of German.
You speak German, yeah.
English.
I don't really want to say that I speak German. Like obviously I can communicate in German at a very basic level. And I can understand the StarCraft German, but put me in a room with 3 rocket scientists, and I will have no idea what they're saying. So, I don't think it's very fair to say that.
So Roddy speaks 4 languages. It's pretty clear.
German rocket scientist, Kevin.
I mean, I'm sure they exist, right?
Somewhere out there. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I can't finish that joke. Anyways, do you guys like? So I think that it's an interesting question. Do you like other? I mean, the language thing, I'll do it. I'll throw myself under this bus. And you know what? That's my role sometimes. People are flipping out about the Italian broadcasts where they're just like losing their minds. And I think it's cool for people to like that. But what's kind of, and it's not everybody obviously, but the inevitable funny thing that trickled down to me is they're like, why doesn't Todd and Roddy commentate that way when they're together? Because if you want to, because you can't. I think that's one of the things about commentary that a lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to. It's very natural and organic, and you can improve on that. But like, I don't want Dan with like a huge broadcaster voice up and down, like, I can't believe they're gonna do this thing, Nick. And Nick's like, like if you change your voice and get weird about it, it's not good, No,
it's just different styles for different cultures, right? And I think that's totally fine. Like I watch a lot of sports, and now that I'm in America, I watch a little bit of like Telemundo as well, and it's really sick. Like they don't care. It's the group stages of the Copa America. Like if Paraguay scores a goal, it's like, oh, like without exaggeration for 30 seconds. If somebody would do this at Dutch television, they'll call security and be like, hey, this man is having a seizure. He needs help. That just doesn't fit in our culture. It is cool to hear it once in a while, but there's this difference growing up, and I think that's okay. There's this different styles, and it is what it is.
Kevin, sorry to cut you off. We actually have a breaking announcement here. Zombie Grub in the chat just announced if she gets a voice pack, she will do it sexy. So Zombie Grub will do a sexy voice pack.
Wow.
Welcome to Battle.net.
That's a big deal.
Take it away, Zombie God.
I would actually buy that, hands down.
Oh yeah,
I would equip it and never use anything else. Yep.
I'd buy it too.
I bought Mr. Shen, so I'll buy every voice pack.
That's not
actually
nice. Like,
based on.
If I buy Shen, of course I'll buy Zombie Grove. God.
Yeah, well, I mean, I buy everything, but
what does a sexy voice pack even sound like?
I think we need to get a call on to find an example.
I can only imagine the nuke exploding sound. That'd be pretty sick.
I can imagine, like, your supply block. I can help with that. Stuff like that. I don't know.
A little high there.
I'm waiting for the Roddy voice pack now. Oh yeah.
I like where this is going. I like this a lot.
Yes.
Oh, stim pack. All that speed and adrenaline. It's gonna be good.
Nuke's coming. Can you find the spot?
Oh, that's weird. Man, you're too good at being gross. Oh my god.
I am Australian.
You only can.
Basically do this.
Fill the bunker with men. Oh, Jesus.
You can fit 4 in here. Then you can get NeoSteel.
Almost out of minerals,
we have to make this
but that's
happen.
more where that came from.
Yeah. Dude, the funny thing, and this is, you guys don't need to know this, but maybe it's useful information. Sometimes, and this is going to come as a shock to people, sometimes some of my jokes on a WCS broadcast or whatever steps over a line. I don't know. It's only happened a couple of times. Well, Dan,
I never heard anyone say that.
No, it's true. It's actually honestly true. And I know that, again, that's going to shock a lot of people. But back one time when I was in my particularly lawyer mode, and one of my favorites, by the way, is Mark, God rest his soul. He's now retired to being a golfer. It'd be Mark that would call me out on stuff, but he's like deep German techno dance guy, so like some of the things he'd call me out on didn't translate very well. But one of the funny, like I just wanted to troll him, so I argued, and I was like, Mark, in Brood War, when you clicked on the medic too many times, she'd say, turn your head and cough. Do you know what she's talking about, Mark? He'd be like, I don't understand. You have, it's polite to direct yourself a different direction when you cough, of course. I was like, no, she's talking about having her hand on your balls, checking your shaft, and wanting you to turn your head and cough so she could see if it's all attached. He's like, what is this barbaric practice? What are you talking about? I'm like, those are physicals in America, dude. That's what we do. I didn't win the argument. It didn't.
Nobody has ever won an argument with Mark.
Yeah,
if they are winning, it's ongoing and it will never end.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's exactly right, Kevin. It basically started a conversation. I was like, all right, never mind. Anyways. Great question, Alessander.
Wait, I didn't get to say something
okay,
on the question.
Go ahead.
I want to mention one thing, because I think what Roddy said was really important for people to remember. How he says, like, saying goal for 30 seconds straight or something doesn't fit into a Dutch TV program. That's something that I run into a lot casting Brood War, because people are like, I love the Koreans with their hype casting. They're just so excited the whole time. And the thing is, I feel like they are really good at casting Brood War, and they do a great job for the Korean language. And it works in the Korean language. But if you watch any video where someone has translated everything they're saying, if Nick and I commentated a game saying in English, even if we reformed the sentences so that they were cleaner, what they say during the broadcast, I think we'd be out of a job pretty quick, because it just doesn't fit into the English cast. I think that they do a great job, but culturally, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If I just sit there screaming plague, and then, like, seriously, there's some videos out there of it translated in Brood War, and you can see, and imagine me and Nick just saying the words at the bottom of the screen. You'll be like, oh, okay, they got to do their own
plague it!
Go.
Like, I think, obviously, I think all of us will be hype at some moments, but like, it's deeper into the tournament, right? I think it just goes against everything what we stand for and what we normally do if we would cast like a round of 64, like it's the BlizzCon final. At that point, people would become annoyed with us as well. They'll be like, why the fuck are they shouting so much? These guys are fucking bad at StarCraft. It's so stupid. Fucking terrible game. Artificial hype casting is so dumb, yada, yada. Like, people are just used to the idea of it being built up. And, you know, round of 16 gets a little more serious. Round of 8. Obviously, if a game is epic, it's epic. And the same is is with football, right? Like, if it's a 5-0 blowout, you don't celebrate a 5-0 like it's the 1-0, unless you're the U.S. women's national team, I guess. And you celebrate 9-0. But, you know, obviously, if you make it to the semifinal or the final, and then your favorite team or your country is playing, then the commentary will always get hype. It's just the way it is.
13-0, they celebrated.
Yes, no, the entire team. They went to the bench and they celebrated arm in arm. It's like they beat a bunch of Thai soccer girls who still went to high school 13-0. They're the ultimate villain of the tournament right now.
That's pretty funny. Yeah,
actually, this chick made a really cool statement. She's like, "Yeah, we've got the best team in the world, and we've got the second best team." And then people on Reddit are like, "Yeah," and they left the third best team on the Carmack in DC and stuff like that. So it's actually kind of a cool story.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I get people say stuff like, I do replay subcasting in my stream, and they'll say stuff like, "Oh, cast this one like it's the semifinals of BlizzCon," and I'm like,
no.
You can't really just turn that on. It needs to you got to read the crowd, man.
You grow into that as well, right? Like you get carried away by a hype story of a player who performs very well and stuff like that.
But it is different. I think one of the clearest differences, by the way, is not to use. I mean, it's the infinite example, but watch Tastosis commentate a finals and watch them cast the round of 16. It's very, very different. They're more funny, analytical, off topic in the round of 16. Obviously, in the finals, we're not talking about something silly. They're hyping it up. They're yelling. They're shouting, and that's all of us, by the way.
Yeah. And I think that is a perfect way for us because that's how we're used to doing it. And I think that's just kind of the way I like it as well. I really don't like a round of 32 match being presented to me like it's the sickest and most hyped thing ever. Like I don't even like it when it's one really good player completely destroying a really bad player and then breaking it down about how freaking fantastic this guy is just because he's better all around. And the same is happening in sports. Like if City is destroying the hell out of Chicago Fire, nobody's going to break it down like the greatest football game we've ever seen. It's just the way it is.
I think the StarCraft 2 casting group has moved in that direction too. Like you're not going to get, for the most part, out of any of us a bullshit round of 32. Like this is the best game ever. Obviously, the crazy games that happen, it gets hyped, but that's in the moment. Yeah. All right. Well, great question, Alessandro. And then Mr. Ravi Parikh asks, "Hi Jeff, what time is the Pylon show? Also, everyone,
God, he's funny.
What meme in StarCraft do you hope never stops?" Big air conditioning.
What's big air conditioning? I don't get that.
I don't know.
I think it's the Todd meme. It's too hot in here.
Oh, big fan. Wait, I got it.
Oh, that too. I guess
he's saying fan.
Yeah.
Funny stuff.
That was a Todd meme.
Yeah.
He's always with the trolls.
What meme? I mean, if the Pylon meme goes, the Artosis Pylon meme goes away, and the In Control Pylon meme goes away, then this show's name doesn't make sense anymore.
The In Control Pylon is not a thing. It's never been a thing. Dan tried to make it a thing, and it's not a thing. And eventually, you gave in, and it was a beautiful moment for all of us. When you
now and then.
That was a very glorious moment. I think a lot of nerds around the world, they wiped the tears like he embraced the
meme. What is a meme that makes me laugh every time? I'm trying to think of the StarCraft-centric meme.
I honestly, I think one of my favorites is the red eye, like In Control doing the red eye. Like I think that's just a classic Home Story Cup meme for me that I truly wish will never go away.
No, there is a Home Story Cup meme I want to just die forever. That if I ever hear anyone say anything about Ohana means family ever again. Oh my God.
It's not even just a Home Story Cup meme though, right?
Yeah. Well, whatever it is.
NASL days.
Yeah. Exactly what I mean.
One that I do hate, but I respect how far it's gone, is the NASL sound guy. Like I don't find it funny at all, obviously because it was very close to the subject, but I see it in every game everywhere. So then I'm like, well, that's pretty amazing.
It went viral.
That's pretty good.
People have no idea what NASL is.
No, but they know the NASL sound guy. It comes up everywhere.
I don't like the I don't know Kev meme. Like that really went on for way too long as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny when Hearthstone did it. That was really cool. But
what about the Roddy's high meme?
That's just stupid. Like high and tired is pretty fucking dumb. I hate it.
Yep. Poor Kevin has
Roddy
bad
shirt
ones.
though? That's okay.
I mean, I don't care. Like that one is, it has this thing, and it comes from a good place. It comes from the Home Story Cup donation train. So in that way, I think it's funny. But when people say that you're high all the time when you're not high, I mean, I think if anybody knows how that feels, Maynard, that should be you.
I'm a full-time streamer of Dreadlocks. Okay, like people.
I'm glad it's gone.
It's like that guy at BlizzCon,
But there was a meme that took way too much maliciousness with it, and that's not what I meant it at all. But for a while, people were making fun of Dan for never finishing a project or whatever, and that was like a joke that I made years ago. But people took it as like super nasty, and then kind of harassed him about it. And I was like, wow.
They still do, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's scary.
There's always jokes.
And
that's all Jeff's fault.
But it has fallen off.
And then he made
right?
a show with me, the fucking idiot.
But it has fallen off, right? You don't get that as much anymore at all. Like, I think it's fallen off. I don't see it.
It's fallen off now.
One that I also hope never goes away is whenever somebody loses, saying that he's practicing for the next game, like the Lil Bow BlizzCon. I always like. I can get behind that.
That was crazy. That BlizzCon, dude. That was crazy. There's good ones though. We have really good StarCraft memes. Like this is a topic that we almost need to prepare for to kind of talk about because there's some crazy good ones. Apollo finishing his. I was very pleasantly surprised at how many people got the joke about Apollo never finishing his YouTube tutorials. Because that came up a lot. We tell you about a lot of our memes, but it doesn't get traction in the community, like Pigs Moan and stuff like that. People, Pig himself embraced it a little bit. People are like,
I like Gemini's in the chat. The North and the South. You're sitting from North and South.
And that's hilarious.
I still do that.
That's
I like
hilarious.
to slip that in there. Yeah.
But that one, nobody got. They thought we were straight commenting that every time. There was like a whole Katowice like 2 years ago where every time any of us got up there, we were like, he's setting up. It's a north and a south. He's going to east, west. And Claris would be back like, all right, you guys, all right.
Yeah.
But the community is just like,
we're just trying to find ways to draw dicks on the telestrator.
That was last year's theme.
Okay, and last that I'll say is one that I truly hope will never go away, and I know that will never go away. It's when we look at each other and we tell each other to make us proud. Whatever we have to do the next series or a final, just make each other proud, and that one will never go away, and I love it.
Oh my God, it worked is another one that never got traction. That's one of the best stories ever. All right, well, we could do that all day, but thank you. That was actually a really great question. All the questions, by the way, got some really good conversation out there. Some life rafts were thrown by Dan, but we still got there. Zesty has Chapter 4 for us. So if you're wondering, if you're a big backer of the Pylon show, you can submit a super long question, and you can do that each week that you are that kind of backer. And Zesty so far has been the only one to take the bait. He's writing up a little bit of a story for us. Admiral Stemkowski and his flagship cruiser had fared better since the declaration back to normal space. If only due to sheer luck, their later arrival had spared them of a majority of the conflict, at least for now. Admiral, patching in the Barristan priority transmission, the on-deck comms officer relayed to Stemkowski. Pull it through to my office. No interruptions, Admiral Stemkowski responded. But it'd be more like, pull it through to my office. No interruptions, Admiral Stemkowski responded, and quickly strode into the adjacent room. Upon entry, the room illuminated with a plethora of holographic and dynamic displays, each reflecting different system combat and operational status of the fleet under his command. Jeff, what is happening out there? We've never seen such a dedicated ship-to-ship engagement with the Zerg. You jumped back to normal space roughly 30 minutes prior to our arrival. What have I missed? Dan inquired, upon seeing his compatriot's visage pulled up on the main display with a live transmission feed indicator illuminated. Damn it, Dan. We're down nearly 36 vessels, 4 capital ships.
How you sound.
That's how he sounds. And a handful of cruisers, and well over 100 fighters and light craft. We've killed 1 Leviathan, and it appears that Salvo has bought us some time. It's like their tactics have evolved with a semblance of knowledge of what we would do before we do it, Admiral Robinson exhaled, gathering his thoughts and laying out the details of the engagement. Over Jeff's shoulder, Dan could see the comms officer flash with confusion and then anger, and then excitedly turned towards her Admiral. Admirals! The Zerg are hailing us. I can't block them out. Best I can do is adjust the delivery frequency to shuffle it your way. Pushing Admiral Robinson's VidCon display to the corner of the screen, a new image appeared. A slender figure, not quite human, but more humanoid than any Zerg encountered before, rose from a nearly organic mutated throne. Who the fuck are you? Robinson demanded. I am Cyril. That's it. Wow.
Whoa. What a cliffhanger.
Thank you, Zesty. Very excited to see where this goes. I'm a little bit sad to make Dan's voice a little bit more effeminate, I think. And I'll try to...
Do I really sound like that?
Behind you, Dan.
All right. Hey, it's been a great show. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for the questions. The chat's been great. It's just been really nice. Our guests are obviously amazing. Love these guys. Let's break down the show real quick. So as per usual, we could not do this without AFKT. Thank you for their sponsorship. Thank you for Matt Torino putting in that code. Free BDS. Is that what it is?
Free BDS.
Free BSD. Oh God. I just messed it up. I'm sorry. Free BSD, guys.
Free STD. Don't get confused.
Oh, that's what I was worried about.
Okay, home story cup's coming up. So.
Yeah, all the jokes.
Trevor's got you covered for free STDs.
Oh, God.
Home story cup 19. Let's go, guys.
Yeah.
You enter the ATOF for the EBIS.
EBIS, like yeah.
+1.
That plastic tube is just literally a holding cell for.
You don't even know how to have sex to get an STD in Krefeld.
No, you just have to be in that bed one time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so thank you to them, and then of course the biggest way to support the show is through Patreon. We're very fortunate to have such a huge amount of people that support us that way. Thank you guys so much. And I think we'll show that here in a second. Yeah, there it is. And some of these names of the people. It's really cool seeing how many people are like still there and have supported us this way for a long time. Big or small, we really appreciate you guys. Okay, these are 1 week old, by the way, so there's some names that are needing to be added or whatever, and that's we'll add them, and thank you guys appropriately next time. So don't freak out if you don't see your name, but just know that we really, really appreciate you guys. If you are looking for other ways to support us, I always want this to be the case, but please check out Maynard's stream. Please check out Rotterdam's stream. I know that these are two of the more popular StarCraft streamers you probably already have. But if you do, let them know that you liked them on the Pylon show. Just give them that positivity. A lot of the questions we're kind of asking, what can you do to help? Those are some of the ways. And if you got some spare change and you haven't already, subscribe to them. Throw your free Twitch Prime at them. Throw them at Dan. Throw them at me. Whatever. We're all completely plugged into StarCraft, and this is what we do because we love it, but it's also what we do to make a living. So if you can support us, please do. And a lot of you, I'm preaching to the choir, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry for chewing your ear out about that. Let's hear from the guys and what they're up to. Maynard, what do you got coming up, man? What are you doing?
Still streaming again. So back on same time, same place tomorrow on that ladder adventure, that grind, trying to get better. I'm playing on Korean ladder right now, and it's a new experience. It's it's not been a welcoming ladder. They've been a little bit rough with me. They weren't gentle.
Yeah.
But it's a good time. I'm learning a lot. I'm actually improving quite fast, I feel. Just trying to sort of break through some negative mentality stuff that I'm starting to struggle with a little bit. Like, I'm not exploding on stream. You're not going to see me melt down and punch the monitor or anything like that. But I am like, it's seething. I have like a vat of anger inside of me that is starting to boil over. Like it might one day. So tune in, because you could be there for when it happens. When I explode and go full nuclear on Twitch, follow Twitch TV Maynard. It'll happen one day. Korea will do it to me.
Real. Give him a click on that Twitter as well. That's one of the best ways to follow these guys. I think that's almost a lost art that's fallen off. A lot of people ask me, when's the Pylon show going live? Who's the guest? All that stuff. Myself and everybody else, we always tweet stuff like that. So if you're not doing it, make sure and maybe consider it. If you're like, I don't like social media, okay, that's fine. But maybe make an account where you don't post anything. You just follow people. Those are just ideas. But Kevin, you're in Los Angeles. You've been commentating, been hanging out. Soon you'll be off to Germany and Amsterdam. But what do you got going on, buddy?
Yeah, tomorrow morning, one more Clash broadcast. So if you guys want to check it out, we'll be casting together with the Serral Slayer. So obviously, being in the presence of that greatness is going to be quite fun for a couple of hours. Other than that, obviously, I always stream. I try to stream it. I know that in the upcoming months, it's going to be hard to be consistent, but I'll still do my best. I don't know. It's just the same old. I still try to get better. It's been a bit rough. Like, I always enjoy participating in tournaments. And people ask me, like, when are you going to play? When are you going to play? Like, if I can and the schedule's allowed, I always want to play, even if I don't think I'm going to win. I just think, the competition is fun, and I think people enjoy seeing me as well. So that's one thing I'd like to do a little bit more, and hopefully time will allow it. But other than that, Home Story Cup is coming up. Right after that, obviously, we've got WCS Summer coming up. Then there is maybe some other stuff happening as well in China, maybe for a different game.
Ooh.
And yeah, basically just a lot of streaming. And I'll still be casting a lot on the Clash StarCraft channel as well, so keep an eye on that.
All right. Well, thank you, Kevin. And then we make a lot of jokes, but I love this guy like a brother. Dan, busy. You got the GSL finals coming up. You are streaming quite a bit as well. What else you got going on?
Yep. That's about it. This week, today and tomorrow are actually GSL qualifiers. They're going on. Probably have already started. So in depth, we'll have an episode next week, huh?
Didn't they say they were going to broadcast those, like they're being streamed on a Freako or something like that?
Yeah, they are being partially streamed. It's a lot of the groups play at the same time, so I'm not sure exactly how long the stream will be. But I believe Creighton Olsen will be streaming some of it, and I know that No Regret will be doing some as well. But I think he'll be doing a bunch of them off replays afterwards. But I'm not exactly sure how Creighton's stream is going.
Cool.
But yeah, you can check that stuff out, of course. But yeah, that makes it, because he is playing the No Regrets, playing all the qualifiers. So we'll be doing in-depth next week. We did an extra episode last week to make up for this.
Cool.
So check that out, and just my stream, and obviously Pylon show. Thank you everyone for watching.
As for me, I will just be streaming, but Sunday I'm off to the Netherlands. I'm going to spend a few days over at Roddy's place. He's got a really lovely family, some awesome dogs, and I've been kind of making a tradition of hanging out with him a little bit before Home Story Cup, but I'm told I'll be able to stream from there, so all the Euro bros that are tired of my jokes, you can take all my ladder points. If you can play low enough. But that'll be really fun. Looking forward to it. And then, of course, Home Story Cup is a bi-yearly celebration of a lot of the things I love about StarCraft, and I'm really looking forward to it. Other than that, I want to spend this time just to say, again, thank you to everyone that supports the show. The chat's been awesome. I see a lot of the regular names and some pro gamers and stuff like that. We just really appreciate you showing up. But then also, this show could not be done without amazing people behind it. Alessander finding incredibly obscure stuff to bring forth and talk about. And what's really cool about that is that I've heard from the people that are like, hey, you talked about my thing, and then all of a sudden people knew about it. That's really cool. Cobra's actually still in Los Angeles. He's producing the show remotely. That's just the dedication that he has, and that's amazing. Alleluia is a guy that literally goes through the entire episode and timestamps it, which is the esports equivalent to working in a chicken factory. So if you don't fucking like that guy,
that's like data entry.
Burn in hell. Yeah, it's insane that he does that. It's a hugely thing that everyone uses and appreciates, but don't know that there's a human that does that, and it's huge. But it's not just those guys. There's all these names on the screen. Joey, nice username, just made his video. Please do the viral thing of go check it out on YouTube. Give him a like. Give him a couple. It's a really funny video. Share it around. But there's too many people to thank every time by name, but that's why the names are on the screen. Just know that this show could not happen without these people, so thank you to those guys. We are going to be live next week. Actually, I'll be gone, but Dan and Cobra will cook something up, and it'll be right before Home Story Cup, so maybe there'll be some more news and some stuff like that. Otherwise, thank you, everybody. You guys have a wonderful night, and we will all see you later. Goodbye.
Dum-da.
Dum-da.